It is your supersized edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. Been a long time, fellas. It's your boy Smoooth.
And Sadal.
And here we go.
And wait for it.
My phone. Here we go. Check the time.
Watch this time.
Wait a minute.
Stand, baby.
When it's about sports,
It becomes our business.
And business. Oh God, that felt real good.
woo.
Just picked up.
Yes. Welcome out, everyone. Let me check these comments already. Let's see what's happening. Oh, what's up, Bunny? She commenting already. Yes, what up, Platform Sports Talk and Ladies Night Crew. Yes, we have once again a super show for each one of y'all. We got a different setup going here at the Saunders Experience, aka C. How y'all feel about this layout so right now?
Man, this is more comfortable. You know, I remember when we used to sit on those little stools, man, for like 2 hours. I'm like, look here, Smooth, man. We got to do something with these stools, man. Can't do this, man. It ain't gonna work.
Can't do it. Joe said,
Can't
"Hey,
do
buddy."
it.
Man,
Can't work with it.
I remember.
You see, Bunny? You see what Bunny said? What? Stan didn't end the year with the velvet do-rag on?
No, these waves is busting. They busting. I don't need the do-rag right now. Maybe later. Maybe before I lay my head at night, you gotta cover it.
Stan said,
The
"Stay
Dragon
tuned."
Ball do-rag.
Hey.
But
I'm a
yeah,
DJ.
but fellas, it feels good to have y'all here in person. For our first time, we've been together since I don't know how long. It happened over a year, definitely over a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's definitely dope to see y'all on the show. Yeah, and in person, you know what I'm saying? And we know that a lot of people are going through this new variant, the the Omicron and
The Elijah Wine variant.
but
Okay.
on a serious tip, we know a lot of people going through a lot of stuff right now. So we just ask for y'all, hey, continue just to be as safe as you can. We're not here to judge nobody. Just be safe out there.
Praying for y'all, man.
It's crazy. But once again, we're here. We're going to have a good time. It's the Super Show tonight. You're going to see, as you see right now, the original crew. You're going to see the ladies come through from Ladies Night. Maybe have some special guests. Maybe. We shall see. But at this time, take some time out right now and just go on Facebook, go on YouTube, go on Instagram, go on Twitter, follow us on all them pages. Make sure y'all go ahead and just spread the word on YouTube. You must subscribe and click on that bell because anytime we go live,
You will be notified.
oh man, it feels so good to say that.
Oh man, I missed that, man.
Feels good.
So bring them comments, y'all. Don't be scared. We're gonna have a good time tonight. We're talking about our favorite moments on the show. We're talking about our favorite sports moments from 2021. We just want to have a good time. We want to get so many people to interact. We see that the viewers are coming up. Let's go. Let's bring that energy. We have a jam-packed show for y'all. Let's see.
Don't adjust y'all screens. It is not 2019.
Bunny said we got the basement the basement vibe going on.
Right.
Set up. You know what? All we need, set up a microphone. There we go. We in the studio.
Now, hey, just like Rap City, the basement, man. Mama Smooth's cooking is great. Know this from experience.
Hey, true that.
I'm trying to get a plate. Hold on, since we're talking about cooking, I know we got like 2 days left, but a plate would be much desired. It doesn't even have to be a fresh plate. Like I'll take leftovers. I'll take whatever's in the fridge, as long as it's not from Thanksgiving.
Oh man, if it's,
you gotta
it'd be some problems.
You gotta throw that out. Yeah, I don't care if you froze it. It's gotta go.
It'd be some problems. Now all our Thanksgiving stuff is totally gone. So yeah, we made sure that within the week it's out of here. Like for instance, last night we got done breaking down our Christmas stuff. Like what, 2-3 days after Christmas, you got to go.
Better man than me. I never put mine up.
So I put the tree up last year. Didn't do it this year. And some people say it's a rule when it comes to taking down the Christmas things, like after the New Year. It's like, nah, man, December 26th at 12:02, half the tree is down. If I'm up, the tree is down.
And I hear like some folks, they be waiting till like mid-January to take it down. Some keep it up and like decorate it for different parts of the year, like Valentine's Day. They'll have it say decorated in pink.
If you live in the hood,
right,
them Christmas lights on 24/7, 365.
Man,
forget the Christmas lights. What
they ain't coming down.
Wreath?
I have an old neighbor from like years back. She has so much stuff on her yard, she doesn't even move it. Like it just stays there throughout the whole year. She will have stuff for Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving all on her yard and just stay there throughout the whole year.
In May.
Yes.
Now, when it comes down to Easter, are we talking the bunny or the tomb with the stone?
I want to say it was definitely religious.
Oh my God.
Like like a whole version of Jesus on the cross kind of thing, you know.
Oh wow. Was
wow.
complete with the other two.
Got the nativity scene, you know.
All day.
3 wise men in the side, you know.
Bringing both worlds together. You got the nativity scene, and in the manger is Jesus, Mary, and Santa Claus. I don't know why Santa Claus is there, but you know you got to keep them all together.
Hey, you want to get included too, you know, presents on Christmas Day. You know, I want to, show love as well.
Jesus,
you know, respect me. Right. Like put some respect on my name. Let's see. Buddy says, funny thing, I literally start taking down my Christmas decorations right before I tune in tonight. Then stop because Sanaya needed to eat again. Speaking of which, how is the new one? How is Sanaya doing? Let us know, Bunny. Hope you are doing very well, of course, feeling healthy. But I know you had some photos recently. So I know Sanaya already like, oh, this is how it feels to be around Christmas time and family and everything. But how's she doing and how are you holding up health-wise? And I was watching. We can't wait to have you back on the show visually so everybody can see you and show you love. But let us know how you've been doing, Bunny.
Man.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Sadal, been a long time. So what's been going on in your world, man?
Busy as always. Just really keeping up with my business with real estate. It's really coming up. It's just all about consistency at this point and working on that. Got back into DJing this past year and got to host with this guy over here. Lyrical therapy every month, so that's been fun to get back in there and DJ and have some fun there. So I know there's a balance with everything. You do all work no play. It's just it'll kill you. So I'll try to balance it out to do things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And this show, I missed it. So I'm good to be back at least for an episode here. Hey, you never know.
Definitely miss it, bro. Stan, what's going on with you, man?
Working. A little bit more working. My girlfriend, hey baby.
Is she watching?
Working.
Is she watching?
She should.
You think? He said she should be.
Hello. I know you. What else? I've been told if I'm not here, I'm in Atlanta with her. If I'm not in Atlanta, I'm here. Like Sadal said, we've had lyrical therapy back for this past year. It's been good to be home. It's a little different with it being monthly, but it's the supply and demand that makes it all the better. Getting out to Mario started going touch on everything. Getting out to events. That's what he's trying to see.
Exactly.
Right.
Getting out to the events, seeing fellow creatives that some I haven't seen since 2019, let alone the pandemic. So it was just good to see people. It was good to kind of get a taste of normal for about 30 or 45 minutes. And then we back in the box. Back in.
Yeah, and as I was saying earlier, just about the pandemic and everything, I have a big New Year's Eve event going down very soon. Hopefully, it still goes down, but we never know. But just trying to be as safe as possible. Get through this last event for me for a little minute because, like I said, it's spreading like crazy. So Yes, I just had actually my wife and I both had our booster shots yesterday. So we're trying to do what we can. And especially, with us being public figures and businesses, it's our duty, I feel, and for people who's watching, let us know. But with us being public figures, it seems like it's more of a importance for us to definitely be mindful of what we're doing and take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that we don't want to anything from us, you know what I'm saying? And even when we're out in public, just be smart, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a different level when you are your own business. You don't want to be that reason with Smoooth Productions. I was doing stuff and he just all wild with it, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't care? No, because there's a bad image on you, a presentation on you. So let us know your thoughts about that, people.
Yeah, I know.
If you're a business entrepreneur, the whole nine, what's your thoughts on what I just said about just having that extra importance with you being a business or a brand? I know it has to be different for you.
Yeah, I know it's just important. At least I know people have, their different views and takes on this, but at the very least, wear a mask, in public. Be respectful for, of others, at the very least, but I'm not going to say too much on that because, it could be very divisive. Yeah. You never know. This is a sports show, but hey, it affects sports too. So just be safe and be respectful of others.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Be kind to one another too.
And like I always say, it's not just about you.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Shouts out to Mimi Love. She says good evening. She's been one of our faithful followers too.
Good evening.
Hope everything is well with me. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, everybody, take this time to go ahead and share this stream. Let's get as many people as we can to tune in.
I have been away. Is this the same Emancipation of Me?
Yes, it is.
Well, all right.
Shout out.
Well, okay. Wow.
So I want to go ahead and bring in someone who has been holding things down. She has had her game up ever since Bunny went on and took leave for, of course, wonderful reasons. But this woman here, she's held things down with me on the show. Last week, she had the opportunity to speak with Ranker from 101 ESPN. Had her questions ready. She was prepared.
That was
big. And she's just really stepped her game up over this time that she's been on the show for over a year and some change now. And so without any further ado, she's our, I used to say our hockey and baseball insider, but she's one of us. Bottom line.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. She's just all the way down. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in Joe. Joe, what is going on with you?
Hi guys, how are you?
There she is. We are doing well. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Not much, just putting together some of Mia's Christmas toys from Santa. It's crazy over here, and I can't wait to put down the Christmas tree after New Year's because Brendan loves it up, so I'm excited to take that damn thing down.
That's what's up. And Mimi says she's in the healthcare registration, so she appreciates the caution that some people, that's the key word, some people take.
Definitely is the key word.
Right, and then that's me, baby, our supporter right there. So, Joe, so how long does Brandon like to keep the tree up compared to your rule in regards to the tree or any kind of decorations for Christmas?
No, ever since I was little, it was always New Year's Day you take it down, and now that I have Brendan, usually by the time I wake up after my hangover, he's got the whole thing down already, so that's nice.
After the hangover.
Yeah, but Mia, she's just all over the place, tearing off all the ornaments and stuff, so now I'm like, I can't wait to take this damn thing down and get it over with.
Yeah, and like I was saying last night, baby girl and I, along with Jamie, we took care of our stuff last night, and Jamie was so impressed. She didn't think I had that much energy to take down a tree, take down lights from outside. I'm like, I got some adrenaline. I don't know where it came from, but we gonna take care of this now. I don't want to be having a wifey like, oh, this stuff's still up. Nope.
April 17th, the lights are still
grand open, grand closing.
Oh wow, what's going now? Mizzou came back
For now.
Right. But yeah, so once again, Joe, thank you very much for being part of the show. Once again, and stepping up your game just tell everybody once again just your feeling of being able to interview with me, Randy Carricker, and a slew of other people, but definitely last week, how you held things down with your preparation and being able to talk to Randy Carricker, a legend in the St. Louis sports.
It was awesome. I was just telling Brendan about it today when I was going through my questions or my answers for your questions tonight, and I'm gonna, go ahead and say it. Randy was probably my favorite and my favorite guest of the year, just because we listen to this guy every single day on the radio, and like you said, he's a legend in St. Louis when it comes to sports, just representing the city. So I was nervous going into it, nervous throughout it, but then by the time I got to my part and asking him my questions, I just had a fun time, and I text you afterwards saying that was awesome, and I just I hope we get him on again. It was so much fun.
Yeah, most definitely. And Mimi says, I know a couple of people that never take their tree down. That's what I was saying earlier.
And there is truly nothing wrong with that. Like, Valentine's Day, it's a tree of love. 4th of July, it's a tree of Thanksgiving, it's a tree of harvest. Christmas tree again.
It's the way Stan said it. It's a tree of love. It's the emphasis. It's the emphasis for me. But let's go ahead and bring in one of our special guests. He's also been a faithful supporter of the Platform Sports Talk Show. This man here went to Normandy High School. This man, Sadal was like, never say semi, never say that word. But he is a former professional wrestler, and I heard his podcast. Heard it yet?
I did hear it. Yes,
it was a great interview that he held down a few weeks back. He showed some love for those who, I think the guy is from Baltimore, and he was asking questions about the Lou, and he definitely held that down. He now has his own wrestling promotion, HBCW. We're going to talk about that.
It's a big league promotion, man.
Yeah, big time. He's out there right now in sunny Orlando, Florida. See how the weather is over there. They got any snow? No, I was playing. But with that being said, this man here, and he knows how to debate two people. So try him if you want, but he will debate with you. We're going to find out even more tonight. Without any further ado, Mr. T-Bone. Funk, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Man, doing well. Good to see you again, bro. It's been a while.
Yeah, man. It's been lots changed since the last time I was here.
My goodness, a whole pandemic,
a whole heap of changes,
different presidents. I don't know.
A whole heap. We're here. First one. It happened. I was waiting. It took a minute. Whole heap of them things.
A whole heap.
We got it. First one.
So T-Bone, man, just tell us, man, about what's going on in your world. I know the last time you was here on the show, I want to say like visually, had to be before you had the little one. So catch us up on things that are going on since then.
Oh man, see, that was pre-pandemic. I'm gonna tell you now, for some of those questions you asked, the years are blended together, so I don't know what happened at what time, but came down here in Orlando, decided to get back into wrestling without actually being a wrestler, so decided to start up my own promotion, and been working on that for, I don't know, seems like forever, but finally was able to have our first few shows back in November. So, that's where we are right now.
That's what's up. And if you don't mind, tell everybody about HBCW, what it stands for, and just everything that's being involved in regards to what you're doing with your promotion and for wrestling in Florida. So
HBCW stands for Historically Black Championship Wrestling. Some of those letters may sound familiar, like a HBCU. For those who don't know, I went to an HBCU, Kentucky State University. So, I've always wanted to bring a different element into wrestling. A lot of wrestling has always looked a lot of the same for the past so many years. Yeah, you can add some lights and different things to it, but it's pretty much been the same thing. So I wanted to find a way to be different, bring a different culture into it, and that's what we're ultimately trying to build towards, in the future. So hopefully our long-term goal is to be touring HBCUs in the next, let's call it 5 to 6 years.
That's what's up, man. And congrats to everything that you're doing right now with the said promotion. And we also know now, you showed us some photos, me and Sadal recently, that you've been getting into the DJing world.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. See, everything's blending together. But y'all inspired me. I didn't really know many DJs before y'all, but when y'all were like DJing, I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Because when I was in college, I used to play around with like the computer software program, and I was like, I got the basics. I know the idea. When I had to get all the music stuff for the wrestling show, I was like, why not just go ahead and get a DJ controller and expand my entrepreneurial opportunities?
Nice. And people, I mean, his setup is super nice. He got the light show. He made his own. Official. He made his own. What you call it, T-Bone? For your table. Facade. There you go. Made his own facade. I mean, he holding things down out there in Florida, man. So, are you getting a lot of DJ booking gigs right now?
I'm going to be starting to look towards that at the beginning of the year. Try to start getting some. Want to try to secure something for Valentine's Day. See if I can get that going. That's the next opportunity I'm looking for.
That's what's up, man. But definitely congrats on everything that you're doing for the people. What has been like the response that people have been saying since you came out with the promotion? I know you had like your first event, about a month ago or so?
You know what? I was actually surprised that I was able to get as many people to see it as I did. So all the feedback has mostly been positive. You have everybody's going to have something that they don't like about something, and that's okay. Any type of criticism, you can find something positive in. So, we've had a lot of positive feedback about it. Like I said, what's weird to me is when I was wrestling, the YouTube channel that I had for that has like half the views that this one has had in like 1 month, and that one's been up for like 12 years. So I'm apparently doing something right this time.
Right. Well, what can people find about HBCW wrestling?
Ooh, wasn't prepared for that yet, but let's see. They can go to YouTube, HBCW Wrestling. They can go on Facebook, HBCW Wrestling. Instagram, See, I knew I was gonna mess it up. Facebook is HBC Wrestling, and then Instagram is HBCW Wrestling. So it's the difference with the W's. I don't know why I had to do it differently. It was a problem.
It's all good, man. So definitely give him a follow. Any questions for him?
No, I'm just proud of what you were able to do, man. We've had discussions offline about different things that different plans as far as the promotion and things you wanted to do. And hey, man, I've just to see you from afar, things happen, man. Hey, keep going, man.
Look, I'm trying to get back to where y'all were. Y'all been doing this consistently, whether it's different iterations, but it's been going consistently for the past 4 years now. So
yep,
yeah.
I want to get to the point where I'm able to do this, put something out weekly, like y'all been doing. So, like I said, y'all are kind of the inspiration for the consistency, because that's what I found to be the most key.
That's what's up, man. We definitely appreciate that. Yeah, keep it going, man. People keep telling me all the time, hey, keep pushing. Don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you love to do. I think I said this before, but it's amazing how people put in like 110% on the job that they don't like to do.
Exactly.
But they don't do the same thing for something that they love to do, So they got to change the narrative and let people see where God has blessed you at. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line. Once again, congrats to you. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show, the Super Show. As you see here, I'm your boy Smoooth, along with
Sadal
and Stanton, baby.
Then we also have
Jobo. Sorry.
Jobo on that mute, and we have special guest
T-Bone Funk.
There we go, and we will have people to join us very soon. So, people, let's go ahead.
They coming.
They coming. So let's go ahead and get right into one of our topics. That is, you now have my attention. Joe, I'll let you go ahead and start off first.
First, I'm gonna say you can't do the same thing 3 weeks in a row, so you gotta switch it
Yep.
up this.
I already know.
All right, I kind of have two. One was just like I just realized it today. Brendan mentioned it that the Winter Classic's at night this year, so that's going to be interesting to watch with the Blues and the Wild. But my legit one is Miami Dolphins. They went on, they started the year off losing 7 in a row, and now they've won 7 in a row, and that's never been done in football history. So that's been fun and interesting to watch.
Yeah, and just going back to the Winter Classic, word is it's supposed to be like negative something degrees in Minnesota this Saturday for the game.
That's a classic winter in Minnesota.
My God, I mean, like, will technology even work outside in freezing conditions?
I mean, have you seen some of those ones, like, in Boston and Pittsburgh in years past, and it's snowing and stuff? Like, it looks awesome.
I mean, but that's like, okay, you talking about 20 degrees, 10 degrees. You talking about negative something. It's going to be going. So that's a whole different element there. But, hey, you still got to play. Hopefully they don't cancel it because of other reasons. But it should be pretty interesting.
I mean, in the 60s, even the 80s, they had some cold football games. And with their technology, they was able to pull it off, all of those cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, though, but they were able to do it. I'm pretty sure with 2021 technology, they can do it in the cold, but it still gets cold too.
Wow. I know the one that we had. I don't even know what year it was anymore now. Busch Stadium. It was kind of warm outside.
2019,
so.
I believe.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't even really that. I mean, it was still fun and awesome, but it was like kind of warm outside, so it was kind of depressing.
Yeah, I just look forward to seeing the setting, and hopefully, the Blues will hold it down with the victory. I look forward to seeing those jerseys too, Joe.
Yeah, those are clean. The ones from a couple years ago were really clean, but these ones look so good. Like, I keep seeing pictures of Perron and O'Reilly in them, and then I saw Bennington with his new mask for it, and it looks really good. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and then going back to the Blues real quick, a lot of guys are getting healthier too. So whether they're coming back with or injuries, the team is starting to slowly come back to form. So look forward to seeing about that. Goes to the Dolphins. I can't recall who I told, but I said why for them Dolphins because of Brian Flores, their head coach. He that deal. Now Tua's getting the time. He's showing out, as Joe said. They started off losing 7 in a row. Now they won 7 in a row. This beat the Saints this past Monday night. This team is dangerous. They got to win out to at least go to the playoffs. But this team here is playing some ball. So shouts out to Tua.
They had heart, man. Even a couple years ago when they pulled off that against the Patriots, I mean, they never gave up.
Yeah.
They're never out of the ball game. And it's just something about that team, man.
And Flores, he's a disciple of Check as well.
There you go.
So
that says a whole lot right there. T-Bone, what about yourself?
Oh, first I want to thank the Dolphins for taking care of the Saints because that keeps the 49ers playoff hopes alive. So,
Trust me, I had to deal with this for years with this guy.
I appreciate that. I will say that.
Hey, look, and with the expanded playoffs, the way that it is now, they, it's them, and I think the Eagles are like right below them. So I need everybody else to stay away from that 7 and 8, 9 win territory. Need them to win the next 2 weeks so that they can go to the playoffs. Probably losing the first round, but go to the playoffs.
Right. San Fran.
I'm just gonna reserve my comments. I got a lot of comments.
So do you feel that T-Bone is the end of Jimmy G now that he's hurt again? And it's now just Trey Lance's team?
Let's see how he does this week and probably the next week. We'll see what happens. from a few years ago, back when they had the whole Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick on the team, and they took Alex Smith out and just put Kaepernick in, which I wasn't in favor of because it was like, look, dude's been winning for you the majority of the season. Now y'all want to go with the hot hand, and then they wound up losing. I would have at least I would have felt better if they would have at least lost what brought them to the game. So, Jimmy, he's got him to this point. Again, it's more of a team effort, but lose what brought you there. Don't try to switch it up and then make everybody have the what if moments that we had, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Gotcha. Stan.
Real quick, I would just like to say the Winter Classic here was in 2017. The manager at the time went. He was like, "You should come." I was like, "No, I'm good." But you got my attention. Y'all already know what I'm going to talk about. The number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference.
I was ready for it.
It's my Chicago Bulls.
I was waiting on it.
I told y'all. Like I told anybody who would listen, this is a good team. I like this core that they've put together, and from day one they have not disappointed. We are almost halfway into the season. I think we can rule out this being just a fluke. I believe we have a talented core. I hope that the team as a whole can overcome this thing we call COVID, because
that was a problem for a minute.
For a second, I was like, well, if the NBA decides to shut down again, the Bulls going to be the reason why. Like, it got to the point where they postponed their games because they didn't have enough players. But now we're at a healthy point. I think right now it's Lonzo and Coach, which is crazy. But we're doing good with what we've got. Young, promising. Shout out to Tyler. He's from here. Classmates with Jason. So it's fun to see. The games are fun to watch. I've been watching the games like I'm the 16th man.
Yeah. Like
I'm just sitting there watching everything. I get upset when we do little stupid things, like little turnovers. The referees have been trashed this year.
Oh, yes, they have.
I address that.
I agree.
Flaming hot garbage. But we're persevering. We're winning the games. We swept that old man Laker team for the season. I just want to put that out there. That was for my girlfriend because I told her I'm a Bulls fan. She was like, "All right, we like LeBron." I'm like, "Wow, we beat LeBron twice, baby. I love you." We're looking good. We beat the Nets too. I want to say that we beat Kevin Durant and the Nets. I just want to put that out there.
That's true.
We're looking. This formula is nice. I have us in the playoffs. How far? I do not know. But we're getting there.
Yeah, and it looks like this is going to be the season in which you should see DeRozan and LaVine in the All-Star game. Starting probably too. But definitely in it. This should be the year.
And vote.
Yeah.
Get the retweets out. I retweet everything they put up.
Is Caruso still out too?
Yeah, so he's back out again with a separate injury.
Okay.
But he should be back soon.
But yeah, and it's good for Chicago. I'm seeing the crowd showing up every game, the energy he has there at the center. So, and I'm happy for you,
man,
because it's been a minute. Ever since we had this show, the Bulls have pretty much been sucking,
man.
And he's been consistently rooting for the Bulls, man.
He has.
I commend you for that, man.
Yeah,
man. A lot of people ride the bandwagon.
Yeah,
I mean, when you come from a town with the St. Louis Rams, you can stick it out.
Tell me about it.
You can survive anything.
Tell me about it.
Or the Blues. Either way, you're not going to win all of them. But give 110%. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
We beat Kevin Durant and LeBron. Y'all finna put some respect on our names, man, because I'm sick of this.
What about yourself, Sadal?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I haven't really followed a lot of sports. The only thing I have been following is baseball. But so I may be late on this but why they say get my attention. Major League Baseball this lockout.
Oh yeah.
When I first caught wind of a possible issue, they were like, "Oh, they may disagree this winter. We shall see." Then I look up, oh, they're 20 some odd days into a lockout. Oh, this is real.
Right.
Wow. And from what I was reading, they haven't had lockout since the 70s. And so this is big, man. Now they're talking, now it's becoming more real, a real possibility that they might not play part of the season going into next year.
Hey,
I
can see Joe's face right now, like, oh God.
I mean, what is going, like, it's been a feud as old as baseball, the players and the owners, and it's just like they get it together. And from the reports I was seeing, that they can't even sit down to really have a intelligent conversation with each other. They're just like, battling it out.
Egos,
man. And if they could just put it aside and just work something out for the greater of the whole, they have to take a lesson from 1994 and how that almost destroyed people's faith in baseball. It was Cal Ripken Jr. and the steroid feud home run chase that brought it back, but you can't count on that always, especially now in 2021, 2022, when you don't even promote some of the great stars that you have in the game right now. Because you go to the average person like, hey, who's the biggest star in baseball? They're like, I don't know.
Mike Trout.
Well, yeah, Joe.
The average person, Joe.
You're not the average. You're not the average on the street.
I know it's sad though that people don't know that like you said, MLB doesn't put their biggest stars out there.
If you're a 90s head like me, I was out Ken Griffey Jr.
But no, she's right. Mike Trout and Bryce Harper are the two people who you hear the most of if you're not just even inside the baseball bubble.
Yeah, but have you heard Shohei Ohtani? Why isn't this guy huge? This dude should be huge. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah, I got him.
I mean, the biggest star that you had, a generational type player. I go to a person on the street. You know who Shohei Ohtani is? I don't know. He's like he could be like the next all-time great, but you don't know about it because of the league. So they have a problem here. And if they have an extended lockout, it'll be hard for them to recover as far as getting fans and stuff on board. They had a problem before this lockout, and now this might even,
But what you're talking about is a baseball cultural issue. Because they've always had that problem. Well, not always, but it seems like over the past, 10, 20 years, they've had that problem of just like getting the general public to know who the best players are and finding, marketable players that the people could actually, see. Because, I mean, every time it seems like somebody really catches the attention for one reason or another, it seems like there's always something that puts them down with baseball. Like, oh, they flipped the bat. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, we don't really want that. We don't want anybody making it about themselves and stuff like that. And
Sadal mentioned, like Griffey. Honestly, that's probably the last. Griffey and A-Rod are probably the last two big guys that MLB themselves have actually, advertised and showcased to the world. And there's handfuls of guys that I can name right now that MLB needs to be, putting the spotlight on. Not even just Mike Trout. Mike Trout's the best in the game, probably will be for a while. But like I said later on, I got an answer as in Shohei Ohtani, and he needs to be talked about more. Like a lot of the world, if not the whole world, knows who LeBron James is. That's how it should be for Shohei Ohtani.
Absolutely.
I think part of the issue was, like you brought up with the bat flip rule, they started taking the fun out of it. Mm-hmm. And when it stopped being fun and you were getting fined, viewership goes down. Like remember when they would fine everyone in the NFL when they do a touchdown celebration?
Right.
Yeah, celebrations.
The fines for everybody. They got rid of that, and now like that's something that's always shown. Like that's a category that's voted on now. Like the best end zone celebration of the year. Like that's something that's voted on now. Like even on social media, but it's always shared, and it draws people to the sport more. The more circulation you get on social media, the better you have chances of having a greater staying power. And I don't think the MLB is noticing that. Like, I don't even know what the MLB social media pages look like.
It's pretty much ghost. It's like people
right now
with
it is.
blank faces on the website because they can't market anybody right now because of the lockout.
Yeah.
But it's so weird that they were much better at it 30 years ago. Because I was just talking to somebody, like, for whatever reason, I think I was watching the show. I was watching some In the House reruns. Don't ask me why. But I was watching some In the House reruns, and they had Gary Sheffield on there, right? And I was like, Gary Sheffield? And I looked him up, and I was like, he played till 2009? And I was like, wait a minute. I remember seeing commercials with Gary Sheffield back in like 1990, 1991. But you back in that era, they were marketing all kinds of players. Like there was more players that I probably knew then than I probably know right now.
A lot of that has to do with, like Sidal was saying in '94 with the steroid era. Bud Selig knew about it. He was letting it happen because at the time it was saving the game. Right now, I don't know. Like people are using steroids and still getting popped for it. They just get suspended for however long and then they're out of the game. So now I don't know what you do to get people's attention. I mentioned last week, with Randy that, people hate the Astros, but it's good for baseball because now there's a villain for people that don't even watch baseball hate the Astros because of it and they chime in on it, So I don't know if you need a different villain to pop up. Sticky tack, like I don't know what you need to save the game, but it's not going to be steroids this time.
Get the Yankees.
You got a lot of personalities there that they just don't promote. Fernando Tatis Jr., man, he would be great for this generation to see like that young star Shohei Ohtani. I mean, they got a couple of different stars. It's just it seems like they're a bunch. I hate to say there's boomers and they just are out of touch with what's in right now. And you got these traditionalists that like, oh yeah, don't flip the bat and and this and that and the third.
Who's gonna that brings the Mets
hit the damn bat. Just don't hit. That's the thing. Don't flip.
They need a new PR person after this whole lockout is over, man. They need to have a whole push.
They need a new commissioner. That's what they need.
That too.
All righty.
Andy Cohen will save baseball. Is that his name? Andy Cohen?
Yeah, you're right.
With his tweeting whenever he's mad on Twitter.
Okay.
He's from Bravo, I believe. St. Louis.
Yeah.
So,
the Mets GM. That's who I'm thinking of. Not Andy Cohen.
Oh, Steve Cohen.
Steve Cohen. I was like, why did that sound wrong? Steve Cohen.
Okay, I'm like, Andy Cohen? I'm like,
all right.
Like, Joe, Dr. Bravo.
I thought it was an insult at first.
You watching real.
He saved a lot of C-list celebrities, so he could save baseball.
Y'all are going
right.
But Steve Cohen, he'll save baseball with all this drama that he causes on Twitter, then dropping like $1 billion on a couple players.
Pete Rose could have saved baseball.
So before we continue on, another person
that went over
is
like
now
a
here,
church.
and she's ready to hold things down. She represents Ladies' Night as well, just like Joe. She's been an incredible addition, and T-Bone, I'm so excited that she's on because between you and her, you're like the encyclopedia. She's like the voice. I'm just cheap stuff. So without any further ado, I'm just once again so glad that she's on Ladies' Night every first Wednesday. Check it out next week as well. Sharita, what's going on? Oh, we can't hear you.
My bad. Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
How's it been going with you?
Busy. Hope everybody had a great Christmas.
Same.
Yes, same to you. And I know last time when you were on Ladies Night, you was pretty much saying how you've been getting a lot of help now with your mom. How's your mom doing first off? And how has your well-being overall been?
We just gonna keep mom in prayer. I'm just gonna say it like that. Appreciate you asking though. As for me, keep me in prayer too. Just put us all up there in your heavenly guidance.
Hey, we definitely got you. So I just wanted to officially do it. Sharita, T-Bone, Sharita. The rest of the show gonna be about wrestling. So we out of here. No, I was playing. But definitely out of me.
Out of here, I'm staying.
Definitely want y'all to meet, man. The conversation y'all had a while back was good about Brock Lesnar and The Rock and etc. But I'm definitely excited. This is what the people want. This is what the show is about, giving our views. Still, of course, being respectful, having a good time with it. But just having our views and, may disagree, may agree, whatever it is. But it's just the fun of just having y'all on the show and having y'all own viewpoint. Everyone is not all the same. Yes, and that's it. If you feel something different, we'll talk about it. But definitely wanted to, include T-Bone in. I'm glad that once again, y'all both are on the show. So y'all have been formally introduced.
I feel like we were formally introduced a couple weeks ago. We got there. We got there.
I was at a disadvantage trying to type on my phone. She had the microphone in front of her.
I think you was multitasking, bro, because you was repeating stuff I ain't even say.
I mean, we could go back and check the tape. We could check.
I'm all for it. We can do a whole show reviewing the show together.
I love it. Stay tuned, y'all. The Sharita and T-Bone show coming very soon, 2022. Do a show with y'all after every review goes down.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Show, man.
Yeah, post show. Oh
TBD.
yeah. Be determined. That's what's up, man. So Sharita, right now we're talking about you now have my attention. So what's something that has had your attention in this world?
Ooh.
Or wrestling
Speaking
world,
of attention, we just got somebody in here. You want to say hi to the people? Say hi.
Oh.
Now say bye. Bye. All right. Motherhood 101. Something that has my attention. I would say recently I'm interested to see what happens now that I'm pretty confident Heyman has got himself up off the ring from being Superman punched. So I'm interested to see how day one plays out, and then I'm excited for Royal Rumble. So I'll say that's the storyline that has my attention as per usual. And I'm looking forward to that as well as Big E. Everything that has to do with Big E. He's been well overdue, and they haven't jacked up his storyline yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they develop his character and his championship.
Don't be too confident.
Oh
no, that's not me saying it personally. I'm just saying after Saturday, don't expect him to be champion.
I'm excited to see. That was all I said.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying I don't have a problem with Big E. He's cool, but I just don't see him being champion after Saturday. My prediction is Bobby Lashley will be the new champ.
COVID's going to be champion. That's what's
sure. I think COVID already is the undisputed champ. Sure.
How many people out right now? Because they got
feels like half the roster.
Most of them should be.
Rollins supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them should be back by the weekend.
By Saturday, especially with that CDC change with the 5 days, not 10.
Hopefully.
So we shall definitely see about that. And like Sharita said, Royal Rumble comes to the Lou.
What happened? I looked
That's
over there for 2 minutes.
That's Mizzou for you. We had the Mizzou game on in Kentucky, and Mizzou was down 6, then down by 20, then down by 10, then down by 20 again. The life of Mizzou. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Is that y'all second Royal Rumble in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time at the Dome.
Oh, I didn't know it was at the Dome.
Yeah.
I thought
last
they were
time they
that
had
down.
wrestling event at the Dome was WCW.
Exactly. That was doing Hulk Hogan days.
Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan. It was something I wanted to ask you. Did you hear today, Sharita, about Tony Storm getting released?
Yeah, just now from you.
Wait a minute.
Tony Storm. She last Friday, she was on SmackDown fighting Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and now she got released. No word
the
on
story
what
was
happened.
that the story was that she asked for a release and they gave it to her.
Really? Oh, okay. It's
see
been a
what
lot
happens
of
from that.
dissatisfied wrestlers recently.
Wait, what'd
We'll
you
see
say?
how soon she shows up on AEW.
Right.
They need it.
No, I was saying, T-Bone, there's been a lot of wrestlers who've been dissatisfied over the WWE product over the last few months.
Is it the wrestlers though, or is it the sports? Let's call it wrestling media more so saying that because. I mean, because like an example would be, when they were talking about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's contracts coming up, everybody was like, "Oh, they're definitely going to AEW. It's absolutely going to happen, and they're not going to resign, and they're going to go over there." And then Kevin Owens signed, and people like, "What? Somebody wants to stay in the WWE? Oh my goodness!" But more so is, look, a lot of people made a big deal about people being released over the past, let's call it couple years, because there was a lot in 2022, but 2020 TOO. But look, nobody wants to see anybody unemployed or lose a job or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like if the criticism of WWE in 2019 heading into AEW was, oh, they're just hoarding talent just to stop them from going to AEW, and they have this big bloated roster, and how dare they hoard talent? And then when they release talent, people are like, how could you let this wrestler go that I barely saw on TV, that all of a sudden, whenever somebody got released, it was this was my favorite wrestler ever. It's like, I don't know.
How could they?
But, look, there's going to come a point where people get released. It's always happened in any company. You go back to the territories, people were shuffled in and out. It wasn't contracts at the time, but you can't keep people forever. And if you keep the same people, then the same stuff is going to wind up happening. You're just going to, you overexpose people. So you can let people go. They can come back at some point.
Do y'all feel? Yeah, it's possible. Do y'all feel, I started off with you, Sharita, that Liv Morgan is marketable?
That's a hard question to ask me because I love Liv Morgan for her potential. I get disappointed in her reality at times. So I think she's marketable, but she has a sustainability complex. She's always been marketable. Every time they throw her out there, they repackage her, they rebrand her, it's marketable. But there's something missing in the execution. So do I think she's marketable? Yes. But do I think she's hitting the nail every single time or hitting the nail on the head every time? Nah. So it's hard because I see her, I'll watch her, I get excited to watch her wrestle. Like, she's an entertaining character for me. But she doesn't match the personas or the legacies that they put her against. And it's almost like, putting a Hot Wheel against a Camaro sometimes. You like them both, but they don't belong on the same page.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Am I still there?
Well, we're on wrestling, and you guys are the ones that know wrestling, so you guys.
Well,
what you think, T-Bone? Liv Morgan.
So I don't have a problem with Liv, but the thing is, it's one of those things where when you present somebody a certain way for so long, if they're not at a certain level, then by a certain point, they're basically just going to be perceived at that same level for a long time, unless again, you can change environments, right? So, and that doesn't mean going from Raw to SmackDown or SmackDown back to Raw. Maybe NXT is a little bit different because that seems like a slightly different ecosystem in a way. But, if she went somewhere else, she could, kind of redefine her own image. And then again, she could always come back and, she could be in demand to where they want to market her instead of, you're here. We don't know what we really want to do with you, that type of thing. because that's what the problem has been for like people for the past, few years. It's just been that they have people on the roster, they don't necessarily have something particular that they want to do with them. And then, y'all back?
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Y'all love technology, right?
Every day.
Let's talk about it.
But yeah, I mean, to me, she's somebody who could go away, redefine herself to where when they bring her back, she would be somebody who they actually have a plan for instead of kind of think that they might want to do something with.
Yeah, I think sometimes Liv Morgan gets put in the same bucket as like Carmella, where she came out, she was on fire, she did good, and then they kind of gave her a break, rebranded her, and brought her back. The difference is Carmella kind of always had that it factor. They just kind of boosted her a little bit. Liv Morgan has always been missing something there. And I mean, to your point, maybe she needs a new audience, maybe she needs a fresh atmosphere. But just because she's cute and she's blonde, every time they repackage her, she's cute and she's blonde. Like, give her a new edge, give her more ability to showcase how good she is in the ring versus setting her up every time to almost get there and not get it.
Like I said, NXT might be a good option too, because they did that with Mandy Rose, and she's
exactly
redefined herself. Like with Liv, like when you bring up Carmella, the other person I think of like that was like Alexa Bliss. Like when they both came up to the main roster, it was like when you saw them, it was like I wasn't exactly expecting them to bring them up, but it's like okay. But when they brought them up within the first couple months, both of them won the belts on both brands. So that immediately put them in a different light. You can bring them back down, but they've always been up to come down. Like Liv is fighting an uphill battle, every time that she's on TV, and nothing really progresses with her.
And I think it's worth saying Liv came out as a faction. And honestly, the two stronger people in my perspective of that faction got released or they quit. So Liv wasn't even the strongest link, and they keep rebranding her. So yeah, to your point, she's good, she's talented. Maybe NXT is a better fit for her, but when she came to the main roster, she didn't come by herself. She came with two other people, and I think we're starting to see that they were carrying her to an extent as far as talent in the ring.
Yeah, she wasn't the leader of her own group. So, and what was the other group that came? Well, again with
Mandy and Sonya.
Yeah, and they were with Paige, but Paige left, and then they were just a tag team, and then they split up. But again, neither one of them really did anything on the main roster. They put them against each other, and then they just kind of floated around for a little bit. Sonya's case is a little bit different, obviously, but with Liv, it's like you're there, you're not the leader of your own group, and then it seems like every push that she's gotten, they had cold feet on her.
Interesting. See what I'm talking about. This is why we have this stupid show, man. So many different opinions. I love it. It's the platform sports talk show. So everyone else had their, I had my attention. So I got to go ahead and do mine real quick. One, I want to go ahead and last night we heard some shocking, devastating news, and that was famous, one of the most winningest coaches, iconic coaches, also an iconic analyst on TV, and of course has the most highest selling video games, especially sports wise in regards to football. The man legend, Mr. John Madden, passed away. I think he was like 85 years old. Say he passed away unexpectedly last night. So we definitely want to give our condolences to him and his family. But like I said, man, a legend in the game. For people who are like, I don't know, 15 years or younger, or 10 years or younger, to think about video games. For those who are around like they're 25, 30 and up, you think about him as an analyst. Then for those who are older than that, you think about him as the coach. But he made an impact in every different facet that he touched. And just looking at old videos I saw on social media today, it's like, man, especially the times when you had the greatest show on turf. Oh my God.
This one to my eyes, John Madden was like your granddad.
It's hard to hear Sadal.
Can't hear me.
It sounds like you're a little off mic, like somebody else's mic may be picking you up.
Oh, you know what? Turn your thing back on. Until then, use the microphone. Until then.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying, John Madden was like your granddad's, the granddad of football. He was always the guy that brought some, lightheartedness to the game. Always explained the game very well. Was a great ambassador to the game. I mean, I could remember, on any given afternoon, you can watch him call the game and then go cut to a commercial break. He's talking about boom, tough acting, acting, aces the place, he talk about that. And then after the game is over, you can go down and fire up your Super Nintendo and play Madden, and that was like my childhood. And you talk about the greatest show on turf, the first playoff football game in St. Louis on television was called by John Madden and Pat Summerall. I mean, when I saw the Rams in the playoffs and to hear Pat Summerall and John Madden call the game, I knew it was real.
Right.
It was official. And I mean, every big play, Thanksgiving's was the best because he's always talking about the turducken. He's always
a
talking.
Great thing, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been playing on making one of those.
Yeah, and always talking about the offensive lineman. This big body here, you circle that guy, circle that guy. And then he'll even go into the stands. And I remember there was like a little clip of him pointing out this big fat dude. He was drunk and he had all the beers. You see that beer right there?
And circle him and whatever.
And then he's got all those other beers right. He finished off. And, it was just fun. It was fun. He made the game, that much enjoyable.
Yeah.
And man, he's going to be missed.
Did you all get a chance to watch right before he passed, which is real eerie to me? They dropped the documentary.
Right.
So
it's reminiscent of how the Warrior, how they, in
no,
it was kind of reminiscent of that.
That was creepy. Scary.
It's not as creepy because that was the next day. We're talking about when the Ultimate Warrior passed. They, the day before, a couple of days before, they honored this man in the Hall of Fame. They reconciled, and he made that speech on Monday Night Raw. And then the next day, it was almost like.
Sure, that reminds me of remember Stuart Scott on the ESPYs.
Yeah.
1 week he had the speech. Mm-hmm. Like next week, I think he passed away. Yeah. Same thing with Craig Sager. 1 week had the speech. Not too long after that, passed away.
It was like, at least I'm so glad that we had a chance to celebrate John Madden. And he was able to see that he was celebrated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's tough.
Stan, any thoughts on him?
I will say that through his video game, that's where I fully developed the love for the game of football. My first copy of Madden was for my Game Boy, and I didn't know who was who. All I know is I had the Rams and I was winning. So that was the beautiful thing about it. So I kept playing the game, and then from playing the game to identifying certain plays that I see in the game that I'd see in the actual game. So from the video game to the actual game, John Madden made me love football. So when that popped up on my phone, and it was the way it popped up because I didn't see, John Madden passes away. It's the way they always say it. John Madden, beloved coach, one of the great analysts of the game of football. They just did all that extra stuff, and it's like passes away, and it hit. And so I had to take a minute right after I text you guys because it was like, wow.
Right.
It's like, it seems since 2019, I want to say maybe even 2018, there's always that one death right at the end of the year that just hits. And it's like just when you thought
last year for me, not a lot of people know who he was, but people who know who he was, he's like doggone legend. When MF Doom passed,
Right.
well, he passed. Oh, we learned that he passed away on Halloween 2020, but we learned about it on the last day of 2020, just like a kick in the groin, man.
Right.
That hit hard, and now you come to the end of this year's John Madden.
Yeah.
Man.
And something else that has my attention, and for those who are watching, there's been someone who usually at this time would have commented and said something. Anyone who's watching right now, do y'all know who I'm referring to?
Miss Williams?
Yep, Miss Williams. So I have a surprise for y'all because Miss Williams is not chatting because she is actually.
Hey. What's up, Miss Williams?
How you doing, Miss Williams? Uh-oh. So something going on with your audio. You sound like the chipmunks right now. I don't know if it's the internet. Let's see. Let's try. Why don't you try to log out, Miss Williams, and log back in so we can hopefully hear you? Because I know you got some things you want to say to the crew.
Scared for a minute. I was like,
Same.
You scared me.
The way that was a little hard.
I thought.
Everybody like, wait a minute. Now, y'all know I'm one with the surprises.
I come back one day, and you do this again.
So she's working on her microphone and connection. But yes, we had to have our faithful follower here for our last show of 2021. When I say ride or die,
Poet, I'm gonna help you with your words, brother. Whoa!
See,
we just talked about John Madden and people.
I know.
it is the suspense for me, y'all. I got y'all good though.
Only on the
all right, let's see what happens now. Let's bring it back in.
Okay. How does this sound?
There we go. See what happens now. Let's bring it back in.
Okay. How does this sound? Oh, cool.
There we go. See what happens now. All right, so Ms. Williams. Okay, do me a favor. Turn down your sound on your end so you get the feedback. Okay, do me a favor. Turn down your sound on your end. There we go. Feedback. It's a little bit better, but it's great to see. I haven't seen you in God knows how long, but we also want to say thank you for your support that you have shown the platform Sports Talk Show since forever and a day. But we also want to say thank you for your support that you have shown the platform Sports Talk Show since forever and a day.
Well, I enjoy your show. I really do. And I like it because, I don't know a lot about sports, but I do enjoy learning about it from all of you.
Nice. And once again, we're definitely glad that you have been supporting us since, once again, pretty much day one. Fellas, ladies, the floor is yours. We have Ms. Williams on the show, on the platform Sports Talk Show. Any words y'all want to go ahead and give to her? The floor is yours. We have Ms. Williams on the show. I need a minute.
Is everyone going first?
Okay. Yep. So I have Facebook and StreamYard both up. It's hard for me to tell which one I'm hearing. So.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and turn off the Facebook one and just keep your StreamYard on for right now.
Okay, good. That's what I did. Now that's better. There was a real delay going on there. Yeah. So I also was sorry to hear about John Madden passing. Because I used to love his broadcast. I didn't know him as a coach. I didn't follow him as a coach, and of course, I don't play the sports video games because I can't remember what all the buttons do. But I loved watching where he would announce football games. I would always try to pick the one he was a commentator on because I would learn about the game from him. He didn't assume that everybody understood everything about the game. So he would talk about the different kind of defenses and explain them. And so then the game made a lot more sense to me. So that's why I really enjoyed his commentary. So I watch football, but I watch basketball more. One thing I liked about 2021 was finally getting back into League Pass, so I can watch all these games. I have been disheartened by seeing the Cavs snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory numerous times. But I've been enjoying watching the Lakers and LeBron. You know, I didn't realize how much I missed it till I got back into it again. So I try to watch the Heat, the Cavs, the Lakers, and the Knicks. Because I'm from New York, I have to root for the Knicks if they're on. Right now they were trying to beat the Pistons, so I'll see. They were up for a minute, but I don't know if they still are. Yeah, I agree with you. Some of the officiating I have seen has been, shall we say, questionable. I was watching a game last night, and I think it was Pelicans. It was the Pelicans, and I forget what the other team was, but there was a free throw, and the Pelicans guard stepped into the zone during the second free throw shot, and the refs didn't stop it at all. Another time they stepped out of bounds and they didn't stop it. It's like, are you watching their feet at all? You know,
right.
Yeah, it was strange. So. For football, I actually do kind of support the LA Rams. I support the players. I mean, their owner's still a jerk, but I support the players because, you know, it's not their fault they left. It's not their fault their owner is a jerk. It's not something that they can control. And so I'm kind of glad for the players to see them doing well.
My thoughts exactly.
One thing I've noticed in the NBA is that the Warriors can't do a thing unless Curry's out there. The games that he missed, it was really disheartening how poorly they performed. You would have hoped there was enough depth there for them to have performed a bit better than they did. I mean, the Lakers, granted, don't play as well when LeBron's not out there, but they don't totally fall apart.
I don't know that team be looking so lost when LeBron now on the court, like they forgot how to hoop.
But they don't do as bad as the Warriors do without Curry.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was saying this before.
They didn't have Curry and they got a beat down.
And I was saying this before to Bunny a while back, but wait till Clay comes back next month. Wait till James Wiseman comes back. That team, they already top 2 in the league overall. When they get those two guys back, oh my goodness.
That should be fun to see.
Most definitely.
You know, I have to say, Fred, that you know, I've been watching your show for a while, watching and listening to your show for a while, and you are a very good interviewer. I've seen a lot of professional interviewers even who either they answer their guest questions for them. I mean, rather than asking a question, they'll simply make a statement, which is the worst thing you can do, but unless your guest really likes to talk. But then they also they'll ask questions that can be answered with one word, which again is not really a good interviewing technique. Whereas you always ask open-ended questions, so the person has to actually frame a response. And
I definitely appreciate that. Yeah. I definitely appreciate it. Joe knows that we listen to 101 ESPN a lot. So I'll take notes from there. I'll see other TV shows and just, you know, take notes, mental notes, whatever it is, because I want to be able to do what I can to provide great content for our followers. So I just hope that I continue to do that for people like yourself and for others on the platform Sports Talk Show. Also, tell us, What has it been about Ladies' Night that you have enjoyed so much, Miss Williams?
I think it's because it's a different dynamic. When it's all ladies discussing the show, the sports, it's different. It's still sports oriented, but it's just a different dynamic. I think women just interact differently with each other. Edward commented on that in the WNBA. After every time there's a free throw, immediately the women players get into a group huddle and then they break. I mean, to whether to discuss the play or offer support or whatever. Male players not so much. So I think it's just it's a different interaction. It's a more fluid interaction. Well,
So
between
basically,
the women.
saying
So
the
it's a
women
lot
do
of
it
fun.
better, huh?
It's different. Let's face it. A lot of women, we talk. We're communicators. It is, I think, something men have to develop. So it's just a different flow, and it's a lot of fun. I always enjoy Ladies' Night. If I'm able to, I tune in.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go down the road. Joe, if you want to go ahead and say some words for Mr. Williams.
No, I just want to say thank you for watching every week. And I was getting worried I didn't see your little comment earlier at the beginning of the show, and then Fred freaked me out there for a second.
Yeah, well, Fred told me don't comment, just wait till I call you in. So that's what I did.
Yeah, but no, it was a great surprise though. It's nice meeting you virtually, and Fred, we still need to get Miss Williams some gear for the show.
Some merch, definitely.
Yes, yeah, I do not have a lot of merch hanging on there. I have pictures of cats.
There you go.
Actually, that tiger picture in the background, I painted that.
Wow,
that's nice.
Yeah, took
it's
a watercolor
the branding for me.
sketch.
Nice, Sharita.
I'm glad I know there's merch now. Thank you, Miss Williams. Taught me something else.
I know there's merch.
I was going to say that for later.
I'm getting hazed. I'm still in my haze phase. It's fine. I guess I'll get it after I cross. But Ms. Williams, you're amazing. I appreciate always having your comments. You've been one of the constants since I got to join Ladies' Night. So I also appreciate your support. So it's good to put a face to a name as always, but looking forward to seeing more of you as we go forward.
I'm looking forward to it too. And I enjoy T-Bone's comments. I read his comments. I enjoy those.
Well, go ahead, T-Bone.
I appreciate it. Every time I log in, every time I check out a show, I see you commenting too. So, I'm glad to see other people out there supporting the show, week in and week out.
I echo the sentiment.
And it's good to see Stanton and Sadal were able to be here today.
Hey.
I was just about to say it's official. Ms. Williams is on the show more than me. So it's good to meet you, and I want to thank you for the support that you have been showing us for all these years, all the episodes, and we appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you. I'll speak for myself. I'm not gonna speak for everybody.
He ain't lying.
I appreciate you. I'm just gonna speak for myself because I learned when you speak for people, sometimes you get in trouble. So I appreciate you.
Thanks it all.
It's great to have supporters like you to support this show. Sometimes we go about our time and our day, doing what we love, and sometimes we don't know if anybody's watching or if anybody's out there that really cares. But you have always been there to show us that you care, and you're part of the day ones, and we appreciate you being on our show, commenting, supporting, and hopefully we can have many, many more people like yourself come on the show and support and show us love like you do. Thank you so much.
Smooth, before you make comments, I would like to, I know I just took this to a professional meeting. I would like to make a motion that we knight Miss Williams as our official #1 fan.
I agree.
Second.
It has been seconded.
There we go.
To vote for it. I think it's a unanimous aye. So there's that.
Yep.
That happened.
Well, thank you.
In the words of Corey Spinks, in that order. Yes. So once again, thank you, Ms. Williams, for agreeing to join us tonight, surprising the crew, and once again for your everlasting support for the Platform Sports Talk Show. I know, like I said, it's been a minute. It's great to see you visually.
Mhm.
Glad that everything is going well with you. I'm glad that Ed is doing better as well.
Yeah,
I
he
know he
is.
starts his new endeavor with his new job next month. So
Hey,
fun
and
times
thanks for
ahead.
hooking him up.
Oh yeah, definitely my pleasure. I just feel like to me, I've been put in this world to help others. You know what I'm saying? To help people to smile more and
Mm.
not take everything so serious. So I just love doing what I do and I hope to continue to make an impact with this show and everything else that I'm doing as well. So thank you very much, Ms. Williams, for the constant support that you're giving us.
Glad to. I like to support people's efforts. I support a lot of independent musical artists too, where I can, and um, efforts like yours, where someone's going out and trying to do something positive. I like to support that. I mean, I don't get out to, word up like I used to, but I still remember the show that Edward and Ashley did
Right.
and the environment you fostered there. I mean, they were playing music that probably was completely new to most of the folks there, completely different to what they would typically listen to. And yet they were supportive, they were appreciative, and showed a lot of love to Ed and Ash. And I mean, they still talk about that show.
Yeah, that was definitely a magical night to be able to just show something different, like you said, in regards to genre compared to what's already been there at Word Up. So
Mhm.
people really enjoyed themselves. And once again, thank you very much, Ms. Williams, for being on our show. And I hope that you
Mhm.
continue to share, to spread the word, and
Yeah.
to bring them comments like you do.
Yeah. So that now I can actually comment in the chat.
All right. Well,
I
you
was
have a
holding
good
back.
rest of your evening. You have a good
Okay.
rest of your evening, Ms. Williams.
Okay. Bye bye.
Got them waves going, everybody. Hey. So that was fun. Having Miss Williams on once again, wanted to surprise everyone, show a love on the
You
Super Show.
surprised is all right.
Hey man, you can't do that.
We need to
Yeah,
redefine surprise for
Right
you.
show,
Yeah,
look, it's been write your shit
I'm
out
like-
on cue cards. Okay? You don't need a wing,
Where-
nothing.
You remember when I had
Sharita,
sound effect?
Oh my God!
Oh my gosh!
I was like, on air, damn.
All right, all right, guys. So let's get right into it. Once again, favorite moments of the show, sports wise, of the sports talk show, the whole nine. Joe, I'm gonna have you start off first. What has been your favorite show of the year?
Before I answer that, I just want to say, Sharita, there was merch. I don't know if there still is. I don't know if you see that picture on my mini fridge back there. That's Fred Stanton and B Baker. They had stickers and stuff, and they gave me a hoodie. So maybe maybe Fred will make more. But favorite
If not,
shows?
Joe, I'll wear your size.
Okay. Favorite show of the year and guest kind of go hand in hand for me, and I said it earlier. It's Randy Carricker, most likely. Just it was such a good show. Like we said, it was. He's an icon in St. Louis. Not even just sports related, just in general. And so that was really awesome getting to talk to him and just. We've talked to so many different guys from the 101 ESPN radio station, and it sounds silly to say like we're talking to celebrities, but that's kind of what it feels like because we listen to them and take their intake in on the radio every single day. So, but I think Randy Carricker is definitely that guy for me this year. Did we lose them again?
Wait,
Possibly.
I'm on the screen. Y'all going to me?
You're next.
Oh. Well, coincidentally, my favorite show probably was last week too, because I like to hear the journey of people, going from their younger years to going to, he was going from, talking about his journey from station to station and the people who he met along the way that helped him. Yeah, that was probably my best one last year, especially interacting with him as well, even though it was through text.
It's my go. I'm gonna be selfish and say that my favorite show of this year was the opportunity to do the SummerSlam recap with Brian Turner. So I don't know if anyone remembers my initial introduction when I joined Ladies Night, but I have a background in journalism, and obviously having that background and being able to actually cash it out on something was amazing. To put together the content, physically be at the show because I got to take my daughter, and then like really take the opportunity to produce something, interview, have a conversation about something I'm very passionate about, and then have it on an actual platform, no pun intended. I think that was an amazing thing to finally execute, so I can check it off my bucket list and hopefully add a couple more of those going forward. And we are still staring at me.
Oh my God. I'm assuming Fred's still here because the logo just changed.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. Hey.
Getting seasick, dog.
All right. I don't know what's going on this evening. The connection has been going kind of funny. You go ahead and go to your favorite show.
My favorite show, it'll also tie in like Joe's did with the favorites. It's Gotta Be Black.
Oh man, that was such a fun show.
That was
loaded.
a great show having him here. Just being someone who listened to him when I make my way to school every morning on 104 point when he had the morning show. It was really cool to like sit there and just, like sit in the same room as him and actually talk with him about sports and prove to him that Katie is trash. And, you know, that's just that was up there for me.
Yeah, that was definitely we had like 20 people at the getaway that day, but it was definitely a fun show. Sadal, did you have anything that stood out?
Well, you know, to be honest, I really don't have a lot of time to tune in, and I try to catch replays when I can. But I did catch the Larry Hughes interview, and I mean, it's not so much the interview itself; it's just the moment, just to see the progression that you've got. You know, the space that you've traveled with this show. Larry Hughes on this show, and man, and that's just a big moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely one of my highlights too. Was the Larry Hughes show character as well. But I'm gonna show love to the ladies when they had their 1 year anniversary recently, ladies' night. Y'all, that show was incredible. Joe, you, Annie, Sharita, y'all, Sharita laughing. Y'all held that down. And because it was like it's a milestone. You know what I'm saying? For the ladies, like Ms. Williams was saying, how y'all have your own way of doing things, y'all communication. But I love the interaction. I love how y'all prepare for the show. Like y'all came with like y'all was on ESPN. Like y'all was ready for it. So it had me feel, you know what I'm saying, feel, you know, like a proud father. It's like this is the reason why I did, and y'all showed the world the reason why I did Ladies Night. So that episode right there, the 1 year anniversary, Ms. Williams agrees as well.
It definitely had a professional grade, like ESPN level flow. Like I was watching that episode and I was just like, it's just flowing so perfect.
She would have said PTI. I agree. The PTI vibes. I feel that as well. But yeah, like I said before, it's just about the different opinions. You may not agree with it, but you're gonna still know how this person felt, how that person felt, and with y'all being so knowledgeable about sports, that's just the dopest thing. So I would say that has been my favorite show for 2021. Up next, we'll go ahead and do favorite guest of the year. And I know, Joe, you said before, I believe it was Carricker. Is that correct?
Yeah, it had to be Carricker for me.
All right. T-Bone.
So remember how I said the years blend together? So I went back and checked this and saw that this show that I was thinking about did not happen in 2021. It actually happened in 2020. But I'll go ahead and say if to be technical, Randy Carricker, I can't get his name out, his show last week would have been my favorite guest. But in my mind, the show that you had with Jessica the year before, I believe it was June of 2020.
Oh yeah, Kirkwood was on, right?
Indeed. That was probably my favorite, probably more so because there's not many people that I can say that I can trace back to 30 years of knowing. So just hearing about her after the time when I would have been in school with her and hearing her journey on after that, like, I was glad to hear that.
Yeah, that was definitely a great show. That was like one of the first shows where things got updated in regards to our graphics and everything to the show. Like I was trying some new stuff, and like the live chat that you could see on the screen and stuff like that. So that was definitely a fun show as well. Sharita.
Don't judge me, but I'm gonna honestly say my favorite guest would be watching you all interact with Miss Williams a couple seconds ago. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that one out there. That was sentimental to watch, and I'm the newest person of who's on the screen right now. That was cool to watch all of you have that full circle moment. So I'm gonna rest on that one.
I feel you. Stanton.
So I said Craig Black just off of the nostalgia feel. But then after Craig Black, it's honestly a tie between Mr. Claiborne and Mr. Tatum. Tie between those two. Those are pretty dope episodes for me.
Yeah, and he's referring to Justin Tatum, the father of Jason Tatum, another great show. And a lot of things that I hear a lot is when people come to the show, granted, they've been on ESPN, they've been on Fox, they've been on whatever else. But when they come to the getaway, or when it came to the getaway, they be like, "This is the top notch stuff," And like Ms. Williams said about my interviewing and everything, just about getting these people's stories told that they may not have had other platforms to do so. So like when Jahadi White, came in, that show was just. He was like, "Man, this is the best setup I've ever seen." And like you said, you've been around, Tom Ackerman, Joe, we had him on a while back, just a lot of Steve Savard, just a lot of big time guys who's been around. They'd be like, "Man, this is different. This is special." So that's what's up. Siddell.
I'll keep it with Larry Hughes, and y'all make me want to just like binge watch all of these interviews.
Hey, you can Roku, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. It's all there.
I got the Roku channel.
Hey, let's
It's on
go.
the Roku box right now.
Oh snap!
I would say for me it was James Kinney. He went to Mizzou. This is an interview that I had about maybe 2 months ago, and it was like one of them shows where he just has so many people commenting, and like that what took me like, man, look at all the people who's chimed in. We had like over 100 comments that show. Hearing his story told, and the people just showing him love, commenting, interacting. It was just a really good show that I definitely enjoyed. It just kind of like brought a new life. Not saying that it was dead or fading away, but it's kind of like that reminder, like this is why I do this.
It just brought up some memory here. There's another interview that I did enjoy, and that was when you brought in Jimmy McKinney. When Jimmy McKinney was on, because I actually, when he talked about playing baseball, I actually played against Jimmy McKinney. I don't know if he remembers, but I didn't see it live because I wish I was live because he struck me out. I played on the Greyhounds, and he played on the Fundamentals.
Yeah,
team called the Fundamentals, and he was on the mound. I remember that fastball was fast. I'm like, oh man,
fastball was fast.
Yeah, that
fastball. Wait, you were on the same team with him, and
there it is. There it is. We have officially replaced college footballers played better in college.
Why did I do this?
When that fastball was fast.
Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why did you do this to me?
And he was on our.
What's the next
Look at Sharita. The fastball was fast. The
It's
house
something
was
about when you
hot.
call out to Jesus. That's when you know it's real.
Hey,
I told myself I wouldn't do that. I told myself I wouldn't.
I feel like
Now-
you told yourself that every episode, Sadal. And
Sadal, to save you out this moment. Now, you were in classes with Jimmy back in middle school, right?
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was he one of the what you would call a class clown back then?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, that's why I remember Jimmy so much, because I do remember the basketball ability and him going to Vashon afterwards. But if my memories are Miss Davis Edwards and Mr. Edwards and Mr. Tide and Miss Mac.
Side.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I
know.
Don't do it.
That's the only
Don't do it.
We all know.
Every person who knows Mr. Tide from those middle school days, the first thing they say is, "You sit here."
You sit here.
oh
But,
boy, sound like y'all some badass
Inside
kids.
jokes, I'm sorry.
That sounded like y'all was some bad.
That's how it sounded too.
Strength.
He was,
That's how
"You
he
sit
said it.
here."
He had passed on the
Sit here.
weekends.
I don't know. He sounded like one.
All right, so now let's get right into. Okay, there we go. Want to make sure she was back. Let's get into
Let's talk to the next topic.
funniest moment from a show this year.
Doggone it.
35 to 45 seconds ago.
Joe, you up?
Be the next one.
Sharita might have to help me with this one, but it was a couple ladies' nights ago. I don't even know what the hell we were talking about, but something about a monkey and a girl dancer, and that got brought up.
The stripper and the monkey.
Wait.
I don't even know what we were talking about when I was laughing
This
my ass
escalated
off
quickly.
the whole episode. I feel like.
You know what? I'm gonna have to look it up because it was something with the monkey
Was it
belonging
college
to
football
Texas
coach?
special team stripper girlfriend bites a kid during the Halloween haunted house, and
Right.
the
Like a
name of the
Vince Van
monkey
storyline.
sounded like it should have been the name of the stripper.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about that day. That was it apparently, but I had no say in it. It was weird, but it was funny as hell, and that's all I'll say. But yeah, that's the first thing I thought about when I saw that question, because Williams knows what we're talking about. It was funny. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
We spanned a lot of topics because of that monkey. We really did.
I think we talked off about 30 minutes, but I feel like every ladies' night something happens to where we get off track for a little bit. Like the DC versus Marvel thing, the last ladies' night, we just get into something different and we just
That
laugh.
was intense. I got scared.
And I'm still not talking to you about that.
And you know what? I don't want to jump the gun, but Joe, that was my funniest moment. Was the DC versus Marvel talk between you and Annie and Joe? That was my moment right there. So you went on and said it, but that right there was gold. That conversation. Annie was like, she was rapping Marvel hard. You was like, well, Batman, da-da-da-da. And she like, well, Iron Man, we doing this. I'm like, Annie, just give up.
They're the
Joe,
same thing.
And Annie and Stanton kept saying the same thing about one character. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. That's it.
I'm not gonna repeat it, but just know it was bad. I had a smooth moment.
What you said was so messed up.
Oh man, it was just hilarious. Let's see. T-Bone.
As far as funniest moments, see, most of the time when I catch it, it's usually y'all talking about y'all not joking in the moment. So I don't have the funniest moment prior to today, because between the look on everybody's face when you were just transitioning from talking about John Madden to talking about Miss Williams. That was one thing. And then, of course, in almost real time, the fastball was fast.
Fred, I'm still mad at you for that. Okay.
What?
I'm gonna need some time on that one.
That was so messed up how you did that.
Therapy starts immediately after the show, everyone.
No,
Please. Not gonna say this on air.
No.
You gotta hire a copywriter or somebody.
Let's see, Stan.
Funniest
don't
moment.
say 5 minutes ago.
No, it's not even that. My funniest moment would have to be anytime between myself and Bunny when it was time to click on that bell and neither one of us knew
Oh Lord,
when to say it, what to say. Like just every time. It never failed. No, that wasn't it. It was the beginning intro. Like when it's about sports and
right.
it was just emptiness and it was like it's on you, Bunny. It's
Right.
yours. So just every time that happened, it was.
And doing it virtually doesn't make it no better because you have a possible delay.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a 5-second delay of like just silence.
And they smiling like waiting.
Like who turned? It'd be like this.
Yes, Tom, we are here.
Yes, I'm reporting live here from. Oh, we on? Yes, I'm reporting live here from the Arch.
Well, now it's gonna be. Oh, I was gonna say now it's gonna be confusing whenever Stan and Bunny are back on like for goods because I've been doing it, and I always get so nervous my palms start sweating.
Knees weak. Let's see.
Skip me, man.
He gonna say himself.
You stuck me out. Yeah.
We all know. Yeah, we
That
all
fast
know.
balls fast.
All right, so let's get right into favorite sports moment from 2021. Joe.
All right, hold on. Okay, I got my list up. So locally, obviously the Cardinals' 17-game winning streak because we were happy for a little over 2 weeks finally. For the Astros fan of me, it was obviously them going to the World Series, but going down to an actual play was when Maldonado threw him out to complete a strike him out, throw him out, and that was in Game 6 to clinch to go to the World Series. So those were mine, but obviously you guys don't care about the Astros part, so the Cardinals.
That's not true.
No,
Oh,
it is.
stop.
It is. It is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't even pretend.
Don't try.
Uh-oh. Guys for the flag. T-Bone. What do you?
Thank you.
Oh.
It took me a minute.
Oh, that's terrible.
I can't even be mad because I like the Braves, so it's whatever.
No, I just
Yeah,
can
she
never.
loves Freddie Freeman.
Look, I can never like the Astros ever. So
It's okay. It's okay.
And by the way, this cup is a several-year-old cup here. They were celebrating their 1995 win in like 2017 or 2018 because it'd been a while for them. But as far as my favorite sports moment of the year, this was one that I was actually watching live. I think I had just woke up from a nap while the game was going on. But Justin Tucker kicking that 66-yard field goal against the Lions, I think it was. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yes, I do. And what was more funnier was the faces in the crowd and the head coach of the Lions. Just devastated.
Well, not just that, but like the way that it happened. Because remember, I said I had just woke up and I look at the TV and I'm like, oh, they're about to kick. That's a long distance, 66 yards. Oh, they're not gonna do this. They just trying to, they just trying to hope at this point. He kicks the ball and then it hits the middle, right? And it bounced. Right. And when you looking, you don't have the depth perception when you watching on TV like that. So you thinking it bounced and bounced back, and it bounced and went forward. And I was like, what? And then that was how
Kawhi Leonard bounced.
Yeah, everybody was like, oh, it was like that reaction where it's like, oh, whoa, that type of reaction. So yeah, that was probably my favorite one because it was unexpected and just the way it happened. It was like everybody had that delayed reaction, and yeah, that was my favorite. Record broken.
Stan?
It would have to be the real time crumbling of the Chicago Cubs.
Ooh.
That was my favorite sports moment of 2021. I was like, oh, that happened. So
And what's crazy is that, and Joe, you can attest to this too, but like this start off the season kind of respectable, and he still had some good players like Rizzo, Bryant, the whole nine, and then all of a sudden around what July they traded him
Yeah.
away, and all of a sudden the free fall happened.
Yeah, it kind of happened out of nowhere. They were in first place for a little bit there, and then
Right.
they threw a combined no against the Dodgers, I think, and then after that they just sucked. Like, I don't know what happened, but I'm not upset about it. So
At all.
I'm upset with people they're signing now, but we'll get to that later, I guess.
Sharita.
If we can just talk about the moment itself and not the moments that passed after it, I would say the return of CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
I knew it was
that was the moment for me. Just to, I mean, that's my moment. I get to have my favorite moment. But I would say that. I mean, we waited a long time. But I think it's even funnier now watching WWE when they're chanting for him, knowing he's actually wrestling somewhere else. So it's even pettier for me to enjoy that chant.
They sure did.
They did it like Friday, but
right.
I would say overall, just for me as a personal fan of his, that's my favorite sports moment. I would say if I can share that with something else and tie it, being there and watching the fan response and being there for the return of Brock Lesnar, I would say that was another thing for me.
Yeah, and like you say, especially because you was there at Vegas, and he came out, so. That was for SummerSlam, so that was pretty dope. And I bet it's a pretty cool feeling to be out of town, going to a place like Allegiant Stadium and having that moment of seeing. Because you saw what John Cena versus Roman Reigns and all them.
I mean, that whole situation was like, what year is it? There were so many different combination of superstars that happened that night that it satisfied my childhood nostalgia and my expectations as an adult all at one time. So I would definitely say that as a whole.
Oh, and to be clear, I agree with the Punk moment. It's the everything after, but yeah, I agree with the Punk moment.
Everything after hurts. Like, my soul is somewhat crushed, but I mean, for that moment, and I already told y'all, I raised my child well, so she already knew the words to Cult of Personality. So to watch her face light up when she wasn't just hearing it in the car, she saw the person to go with the song, go to the ring. So as a mother, I knew I did something right that she could enjoy that moment.
And then I know Edge had his old Brood entrance, whatever it's called. That's something that he ain't done since I don't know when.
90s.
So that was dope as well.
Second pose.
99.
Right. Stan.
The fall apart of the Chicago stuff.
Oh, that's it. I'm sorry. You're right. You had yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine was.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like.
You came to me twice.
My bad. Sit off.
Wait, man.
You got yours? You got yours? Yeah.
Hey,
okay. So mine.
I'm sorry. He like, yeah, I'm good. It's good to have y'all back. I'm just saying.
I was just getting abused on my first day back. Anyway.
Fast is fast.
My favorite sports moment was Michigan and Ohio State.
That was a good game.
Man, because I'm a fan of college football and in certain teams I am a fan of, but they haven't really been doing well. I'm a fan of the U, Miami. They're not doing so well. I'm a fan of USC. They're not doing so well. I'm a fan of Mizzou. But when it comes to teams I hate, there's one team I hate, and that's Ohio State, because I'm a Michigan fan. And just to see the suffering that Jim Harbaugh had to deal with.
Like, can he win the big one? Right.
He would win all these games and then lose to Ohio State. And so this is the year. Like, okay, you're both 10-1. Can he get over the hump and beat Ohio State? And boy, did they do it. It was the perfect atmosphere. Snow on the ground. They're at Michigan. I mean, everybody was there. And it's basically to go to the Big Ten championship. and they delivered.
Yeah.
You know, the score didn't really, really do it justice, but there was a beatdown. That was a classic beatdown, and Ohio State just didn't know what hit them. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, man, he's a stud out there sacking this guy. They're running around all the field. CJ Stroud was in the hunt for the Heisman Trophy. That was gone.
That got stopped, right?
And Cade McNamara stepped up as a quarterback and delivered. And that whole team. And then afterwards, the celebration, everybody rushing the field. I mean, if anybody didn't know anything about college football, I would show them that game.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about right here. And then they went on and beat Iowa to win the Big Ten championship for the first time in like 10 years. No, I think it's the first time ever because since they had a championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for that new division.
Yeah, for that new division.
Right.
And it was glorious. And of course, I'm rooting for them to go all the way.
They got Georgia next.
I know they got Georgia next.
It's gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be tough. Not saying they're gonna win guaranteed, but I'm hoping that they win, man. Hoping they go all the way.
We shall see. My moment is and Joe, you kind of brought it up a little bit, but I'm gonna get more into detail. But during that Cardinals 17 game winning streak, they had that one game in Chicago. I think it was like game 3 out of 4. And the Cardinals were trying to hold on to like a 2-run lead or 1-run lead. And that incredible, and if you go on Twitter or whatever and just hear the call from Danny Mackis himself, but they made this incredible double play, a rundown in between home and third, then in between third and second.
Oh, yeah.
Going back and forth, it got to the point where Harrison Bader, who was the outfielder, was part of the rundown. Then you seeing Tyler O'Neill in the back with his arms folded, laughing at the play. I mean, it was just such an incredible moment during that 10-game win streak that the Cardinals had. But
you mean the 17-game win streak that I told y'all not to talk about? Then you talked about it, and then it broke.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just that moment right there. That I was like, okay, I didn't think they had it in them, in regards to just all the moments and just that play. So I would say that right there was my favorite sports moment. What about worst sports moment?
So like on a funny note, it's the Cubs signing Marcus Stroman because it still pisses me off to this very second. I guess on a more serious note, just MLB, going through another lockout. It's stupid, and Randy kind of touched on it last week. Is MLB and the owners spent millions and millions and millions of dollars in like 2 days on very big name players, and then just like that, they shut down, later on that week. So it's frustrating as a baseball fan in general, and hopefully they can figure something out.
Let's go with T-Bone.
Why don't you pass over me real quick? I want to hear what some other people have to say. I have a couple already, but just want to make sure I don't step on anybody's.
Sharita.
Worst sports moment of the year: the return of Eva Marie.
Yeah.
I almost contrasted that with the best moment of the year, but we already talked about talked about the releases. But the worst moment of the year was her coming back and the time she wasted every time she was in the ring.
Oh, let's see.
I didn't think that's where you were going.
She
had some others.
Worst sports moment. It happened twice actually. When my beloved Oregon Ducks got that ass beat by Utah.
Oh.
And you want to know what's really crazy about the whole situation? All the mess I used to talk
about the Utes.
What is right? Yes. You this.
You just an ass whipping.
Yup. Look, and then actually last year, earlier this year, I found out why they're called the Utes. It's actually a Native American tribe in Utah. It's the Ute tribe, and they've actually given them the permission to use that name. So I just want to apologize first and foremost to the Native American tribe. I don't want no issues. And to the University of Utah in its entirety, because y'all mean. Like we get to the Pac-12 and lose. Like it wasn't a regular lose. It was like, what are y'all doing? At this point, we just looking real good, getting our ass beat in some flashy uniforms. That's what it was. I didn't even watch the game after the second quarter.
You look good and losing though.
You look good, you lose good. Listen, hold on, off of the holiday fall, that shiny shit got shot. Like, man, oh, Lord, they went duck hunting.
That's it all.
You know, I had to think about this, but you know, it all came to me. But first, I was gonna say John Gruden situation, what all had occurred there. Then I thought about Henry Ruggs was bad and tragic and sad all at the same time. And then today, finding out John Madden died, passed away. I have to say, the worst sports moment is basically pretty much the Las Vegas Raiders franchise. The franchise as a whole has just had a bad year, had a bad press all the way around.
Oh yeah,
I mean, just bad luck. And then not to mention, they cut a guy because he got into it with somebody on Twitter or Instagram and threatened to kill him. He got cut. It was just like over and over again that they just can't get it together, or just bad luck or just something with the Las Vegas Raiders, man. So the worst moment is really just a number of moments for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Like they really cannot win, because then, like you said, with yesterday morning, it's like Raiders just did not have a good 2021.
No.
I would say for me,
Well, gonna be real nice though.
I would say for me, because of the pandemic, sticking with baseball, but like not being able to see like your Fox Sports or Bally Sports Midwest teams be able to go on the road, it took away from, what I'm saying? Yes, it was some great calls that were made, some great, announcing that was made as a whole, but just how much better would it have been to see Danny Mac and whoever else was out there, out of town, to be at that Cubs game, Joe, and to see that in person and not see it off a monitor. Or remember that it was a clip of I think a Yankees and Seattle Mariners game, and the announcer thought it was like a home run live, and turned out it was a highlight from a past game, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it was bad. So he was like, oh, I'm sorry, that was a recorded video, that wasn't live, stuff like that. So hopefully Valley Sports and MLB get together and make something happen for the next season. Yeah. And so now you can have these announcers back at away games. So I'll probably say my worst for real. Everybody else has some good ones. T-Bone, you up?
So none of y'all said the ones I was going to go with. So I got two. One of them is the state of wrestling as a whole in 2021 is to me the worst. And it doesn't necessarily mean the wrestlers themselves, but like the internet fans, let's call it Facebook communities, the journalists. There's just too much of trying to turn wrestling into a culture war of different things versus just, when I was a kid and I watched, even growing up all the way until the point where I was training, like, enjoy the show as you would watch any other show, instead of trying to analyze. Again, depends on who you are and what you do, but for most of the people who I see comments from and stuff like that, it's the hot take society, and I don't like that. And with a lot of the stuff, and this is more probably directed at AEW, which is probably going to get me some hate mail at some point, but like no wrestler in AEW seems to actually really want to be important. And I don't understand how how you grow interest in your product if, you're not trying to, make yourself important. Nobody wants to be the star because everybody wants to pass the baton to other people. And it's terrible. But anyway, The second one I had is probably the more serious one, and it was the hate that Jackson State received when they had the audacity to recruit a top player, a top high school recruit. The hate that they received, and for a couple of y'all, we talked offline, and where I said this is gonna lead to some stuff later on where. Let some more top recruits come to some HBCUs. They're gonna change the rules to where they can directly pay the players to block the HBCUs from being able to compete because it's gonna become an issue about power. And if you can get that competitive advantage with the money, they may not want to do it, but if they find it to be necessary to keep HBCUs from competing, they're gonna do it. So. The hate that I saw, one specifically, and I don't even want to say his name, but I'm going to say it so everybody knows this guy is the worst. Doug Gottlieb, the worst.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. This dude, what is his problem?
So, yeah, and there were some other ones too, but that was probably the most egregious that I saw. The talk that everything that he said, it was just totally just wrong. Just wrong. So that was
now. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So now we have 3 more topics, or should we say moments or whatever, before we end the stream. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show, our super show. Shouts out to everyone who's watching right now. Make sure y'all go ahead and share this stream right now with the peoples on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Roku TV will be uploaded after the show is over with. Hope y'all have been enjoying it. Bring them comments. Let's continue on. Now, team of the year, Joe.
I feel like you could probably say anyone from Tampa, but I'm going to go with the Buccaneers just because they started the year off, winning the Super Bowl. They either did clinch already, or they're going to clinch. And, they got that guy. His name's Tom Brady. So that means they have a very good chance of repeating again. Yeah, I know they had some injuries, but, it's Tom Brady, So that's the team I got to go with. Obviously you can throw the Braves in there after everything they've gone through throughout the year. And then, like I said, you can say the Tampa Bay Rays because no one expects them to ever do good, and they did. You can say the Tampa Bay Lightning because they've gone back-to-back. But I have to go with the Buccaneers.
Now, this one here I look forward to. Sharita, what you got?
As the only person on the show who doesn't follow any other traditional sports, I got to stick to what I know. So I don't have a traditional team, but I will say if we want to put it in the Survivor Series catalog, I'd say Friday Night SmackDown is my team of the year. They've been the A team for the entire industry of WWE for the entire year, almost like 2 years in a row. So I would give it to the entire roster on Friday night for WWE.
And that is pretty amazing because, as you were just saying, before the last 2 years, it's been Raw. It's always been the A show. But now since they on Fox and they put Roman Reigns on there, he's been the needle mover for that show. And now it is that show. You have the top broadcast pairing. Look what Pat McAfee has been doing, helping. He's what's the word? What's the word? Thank you, rejuvenated. Michael Cole, his career, like he's having more fun doing what he's doing. But like I said, Fox has been doing a thing, and SmackDown now is that A show. Let's see, Stan. I'm sorry, T-Bone.
I don't know if I give it to the entire show, but I would say the team I'd probably say would, I guess you could call it what for 2021 was the Bloodline with Roman Reigns and the Usos and Paul Heyman. Because as far as everything, that's probably that's the only thing that I ever even check out from SmackDown at that point. And if anybody knows me and knows that I'm only checking out segments from any show in 2021 versus watching the entire show from start to finish through commercials, that should tell you something. But yeah, as far as wrestling, that's where I would go. And then to backtrack, the Bucks would probably be mine because they were smart enough to get Tom Brady and they did something with him. So look, I mean, if the Rams could have got Tom Brady, I don't think you'd be booing.
I would be so damn conflicted.
I don't think you would. I think you take the win.
And
Nightmares.
so who's had the better year, the Bloodline or RK Bro?
I mean, Roman Reigns has been the champion like the entire year. And seriously though, out of all the segments on any show, I'm much more likely to want to see what's going on with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns and see what's going on with that story. I kind of have an idea where it's going, but that's probably the one where it's like you're keeping my interest. You're not being overly silly, which, you know, that's just not my thing. I don't like overly silly. So I much prefer watching that. You know, that's why, even though I said it earlier, it looks like Bobby Lashley will probably be winning the championship on the other show. I'd be happier seeing that presentation. But with RK Bro, like, it's overly silly. How many things do they have on Raw right now where it's an odd couple pairing, where it's, you know, whether it's Nikki ASH and
I can't stand them.
What's her name?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. You have there was like a couple other teams where it's like you're not really a team, you're a makeshift team, you don't get along. Who's going to turn on who? Like, I don't care. Like,
and the reason why I asked that question is because I know Sharita was going crazy about the beginnings of RK Bro, you know, so that's why I wanted to ask that question.
So the question for me is, I mean, you can't compare the two. Like, they're not on the same level. I would say if you want to put all those people individually, who's having the best year, Matt Riddle's having the time of his freaking life. Like, who would have ever thought we would take him seriously enough to put him with Randy Orton? And then it's somewhat still, I don't want to use the word successful, but it's entertaining. I just enjoy watching the journey of Randy Orton. So the fact that he started off so, I don't want to say dark, but serious, you know, about his business, the way that he kind of, without a shame or without apology, just stepped on people literally to get where he wanted to get. And now he's hanging out with a guy with no shoes and a scooter. Like, it's interesting to see how he's one of the few superstars who can literally carry anyone to success. So I wouldn't say RK Bro is having even a comparable year to the Bloodline, but it's nice to see a different perspective of Randy. It's good to see Matt grow as an entertainer. And as far as the Bloodline, I mean, anywhere you put Roman Reigns, whether he's saying 2 words or killing a monologue, he's gonna kill it. I still can't tell the Usos apart, but I mean, do you really need to?
Me neither. You're not alone. I'm like, thank God for the announcer, because I have no idea.
I was good when it was just one of them, and now they're both back, and y'all are back to being the Usos. So, I mean, anywhere you put Roman Reigns is going to be a win. I am equally as curious to see what happens with Paul Heyman. I will be tuned in with a whole bunch of popcorn and alcohol for that one. But, I mean, they haven't lose so far with just looking at putting that together and orchestrating it and not throwing it or rubbing it into the ground like they do everything else that tends to be successful for that amount of time.
The issue I have with RK Bro, besides it just being goofy, though, is that what's going to wind up happening, and this is just based off me watching historically, is that Randy Orton and Riddle are a team. Riddle's elevated for the time that he's with Randy Orton. They're going to break up. Matt Riddle's going to wind up shuffled around somewhere in the mid-card between one of the 2 shows after that, and it's not going to really benefit him at all.
Yeah, for the long run, we all agree with that. But the writers are doing okay so far. So considering the comparison to the product we're getting on everywhere else, I'll take it for the time being. We all know that it's coming. Honestly, we thought it almost happened on Friday with that hug, almost RKO moment. I was excited to see how that didn't turn out. But I mean, we're all tuned in, and to be honest, that's all they want from us. So they're doing their due diligence at this point.
Oh, and I almost wrote, or I almost said for worst moment of the year, the Monday Night Raw from this past week, because it was terrible. And a lot of the writing, like a lot of the dialogue that they had, like when they had Eric Bischoff talking to The Miz, it seemed like they were having 2 completely different conversations. Like, it would be like, how was your day? Yes. Like that type of response is like, what? Huh?
It was such a waste of Eric Bischoff, to be honest with you. That was a waste of Eric Bischoff.
Well, but even with Edge and the wedding, like it just seemed like especially like with the wedding, it seemed to me almost like animatronics. Like, okay, here's the Miz and Maurice, and they're out there. Here comes Edge. Edge is going to talk, and the Miz is going to talk. I knew you were going to do this. Did you know? Because you're going to say, "Oh, I knew this was going to happen." But if you knew that was going to happen, and you're wearing a white suit, you knew it was going to happen. Why not look
right?
Up? Why stand in the middle of the ring? Why not move? Why not? I want to see it. I want to see something happen one day. Because I'm also annoyed with. I know I go into these rants with wrestling all the time, but like I'm annoyed with all this stuff where it's like, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, a lot of stuff was new and wasn't happening. So like when Austin would come out and the glass would break, it would be exciting because it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. But then 20 years later, it's like somebody's music has to hit and they're coming out. Why? Why do we still do that? But like, you know, at this point, Edge does the thing where the old bloodbath, although it's black, and
right,
you know,
like
okay, so you know that's you know that that's something that he would do, right? It's not like the Miz wasn't around to see SummerSlam. I'm sorry, he was eaten by zombies,
right
around that time. So maybe he didn't know. Maybe he came back from the Twilight Zone. Maybe that's why it makes sense.
He was taken away by zombies.
It all makes sense now. The Miz was in the Twilight Zone. That's why he and Eric Bischoff were having completely different conversations.
I'm lost here. You talking about some zombies?
You
wrestling? I'm sorry.
You.
You ain't the only one.
There's been zombies.
There's been 3 years.
There's been eggs. Wait, I gotta get an egg in here.
Yeah, the egg was just because of Dwayne.
Yeah, but it was the zombies were because of Batista.
Stay away from wrestling.
Yeah. Try telling your significant other, oh, the Miz, yeah, he was eaten by zombies.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Vince McMahon, why is he carrying around that egg? It's a $1 billion egg from a movie, kind of a prop. But we saw the movie. Like maybe because I saw the movie first and then saw the egg second, I was like, oh, well, this is a movie prop. Why is this here? So yeah, y'all carry on. Team of the year. Remind me.
Go ahead, Stan.
The Chicago Bulls.
No surprise.
Okay, yeah, call me a homer. I want to say the Los Angeles Rams. Simply because this is not any prediction or anything like that.
Prediction.
It's just what has gone on in 2021 so far. I mean, going into the year, Rams going into the playoffs, they had the best defense in the league. I mean, they fielded a great team. They came off a great year, and they made it even better and answered my prayers and got rid of Jared Goff and made the trade. And it seemed like every time the Rams made a move or something, everybody questioned it. Oh, well, Matthew Stafford, that's not going to work. This trading, this an even trade. Why are you giving up the farm? Blah, 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 blah. And he comes out, and for better or worse, he does a good job. Does a good job. And I argue a better job that Goff would have.
Oh, definitely that.
In his position,
he just has an issue with throwing interceptions for touchdowns.
Right. And so, you got Jared Goff, and they say, okay, well, we're gonna roll the dice some more. Now, mid-season, we're gonna give Von Miller. Bam.
Yep. Wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Just when you think it was over, man, they got Von Miller where everybody's happy. They pull off a coup. Oh man.
When I told you about that,
OBJ.
Man, he was like, what?
And then the detractors, oh, well, he's a cancer the team, he's gonna ruin the team, and it's not gonna work. And he proceeds to score 4 touchdowns in 5 games. And
he's back.
Yeah, he's back. And mind you, he scored 4 touchdowns in 29 games with the Browns. So that tells you something right there.
Right.
They're still one of the best teams in the league. There's a lot of criticism with the Rams, and they're talking about how they got stars but not a team, but yet they are in the top 4 in the league, top 3 in the league. if you're counting, technically they're the top 3 in the league, and they have a solid defense, have a solid offense. Head coach is one of the winningest coaches in Rams history, and
more than Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher. Yeah, believe it or not, man. Believe it or not.
We don't say that name in this house.
And so
this ain't even my house.
And so I'm not gonna make any predictions, but I will say this, that the Rams are in a great position going into the playoffs right now. And despite some of the injuries that we had, there's rumors that Cam Akers will come back.
You're right.
It seems like when one person gets hurt, other person steps up. Robert Woods goes down.
OBJ.
Henderson goes down.
Sony Michelle. And now Cam Akers. Yep.
And yeah, I mean, there's going to be criticisms. There's going to be snubs. Let them snub. Let them criticize, and let them do it while we go out there and handle business. That's all I got to say.
My team, I'm going to show love to the Baylor Bears college basketball team. They had the Final Four, and everyone was hyping up Gonzaga because they had, I think, the best overall record in all of basketball. Then you had UCLA, and Baylor was like the 3rd or 4th seed. Can't recall right now. But they pretty much was overlooked. They were a team that had experience, had guys that may not have been like your, 5-star or, top recruit, whatever. But they had guys who they played defense. They had that energy, and they came around and shocked the world by beating Gonzaga in the Final Four in the championship game. So I'm going to go ahead and show love to Baylor Bears and also to the Chicago Fire led by Candace Parker. Throughout her career. I'm sorry, Sky. The Fire is a soccer team. But the Sky, Candace Parker was playing with the Sparks for her whole career. Then made the move to go to Chicago, her hometown, and won a ring the very first year, beating the mighty Phoenix Mercury in the series. So shouts out to the Baylor Bears and the Chicago Sky. Athlete of the year. Look forward to this one, Joe.
I gotta go with Shohei Ohtani. This year he finally stayed healthy enough to, do both pitching and hitting. He was in the home run derby. He didn't do as well as everyone thought, but he went out the next day and pitched in the All-Star game. He won the MVP. After the home run derby and All-Star game, he did slow down a little bit, but I mean, to still win the MVP in a division two, but just in a league, in the American League, with so much talent on there. Yeah, I mean, you gotta hand it to him. Usually I'd be like Mike Trout, but he was hurt all year, so maybe that's why he stood out so much. But pitching, hitting, he did it all, And like I said earlier, like he's probably needs to be like Sharita should know who Shohei Ohtani is. I know she probably won't unless I talked about it because he's not a wrestler, but like globally he should be known all around the world, and that just. I feel like it's crazy if that's not everyone's, but it's, baseball. But Shohei Ohtani for sure.
Can I piggyback on that, because that's my same athlete of the year, Shohei Ohtani. When I was coming up as a fan,
when I was a young boy,
man, see, anyway, if growing up, if you were to say,
story time, hey, pops it all.
The pitcher is coming up to hit, what would you think? Oh, he's gonna strike out.
Right.
No, he's gonna pop out. He's gonna do something. But what if I were to say Shohei Ohtani is coming up there? Oh, he might hit a home run. That is a game changer. You don't never think of a pitcher who can hit 40 some odd home runs in a year.
I mean, exit velo's crazy, and he's fast as hell. Just talented.
It's like, it's unreal. It's unreal to even think that, because before you thought of Hampton. Remember Hampton is the pitcher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a good hitter.
Mike Hampton.
Mike Hampton.
Yeah.
He's a good hitter. He can hit a few hits here and there. Not 40 home runs.
Right.
This is absolutely insane, man. And it's a shame that not a lot of people, the whole world doesn't know this guy's name, but this was amazing to see, and it was just surreal.
Yeah.
To see a player that can basically do it all.
He also stole
say
26 bases, he
stole 26 bases in an era where they're not stealing bases anymore. I mean, this kid is one of a kind. We'll never see a player like this again. Not in my lifetime.
100 RBIs, 26 swipe bags, obviously not everyone still looks at batting average, but the slugs up there, the OPS plus is up there. He had a year that a lot of people.
And it had an ERA of like 2.
Shoot, I would have to pull that up.
He had an ERA like 2.
You might see more people like that in your lifetime.
I think it was low 3s, but yeah, I mean,
me too.
Still good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. He has nasty stuff, and that's all there is to say about it. And hopefully he can stay healthy. Because he's been in the league for a couple of years now and couldn't pitch all year long. So hopefully he stays healthy and gets baseball on the map a little bit.
He's fun to watch, man.
I think you will see more people like that though.
Not like Shohei Ohtani. Not like him. Maybe the people that could do both, but not do both and excel like him.
Well, I just say it because you think about some of the like when Michael Vick was around, right? You saw Michael Vick doing all kinds of things that nobody else was doing at the time. And once he set that blueprint, people started training other people to kind of follow that model. So I think it was more of it wasn't that people couldn't do it. It's just that nobody trained other people to do it like that because they always wanted to focus on pitching and be the best at that instead of doing everything else and being an overall player.
Yeah, and I think you'll see more people try to do that. I know the Cardinals have a prospect. His name's Mason Wynn. He does that as well. Hopefully, it happens. But again, like I said, Ohtani was hurt the first couple of years in the big leagues, to where he couldn't do both at the same time. It's hard to do, So, but I do think you'll see more and more kids drafted in the MLB trying to be a two-way player.
Yeah, well, think about this. You may see a lot more people try to do both and be good, but not a lot of people can hit 40 home runs, period, in a season. Not a lot of people can pitch efficiently, period, just doing one thing in a season. But to do both
exceedingly well,
that cannot be duplicated.
All right, Sharita, you up?
I feel like mine is a given for anyone who watches wrestling, who my athlete of the year would be. Hopefully, T-Bone, you can agree with me on this one, but I'd have to give it to Roman, to be completely transparent. He's carried the entire franchise. So I would say over 400 days as champion.
I'll say years, Lord.
I know it feels like it though. But and even like the way he, I don't want to say turned on Paul Heyman because we all saw it coming, but he even gave us reminiscent Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair vibes on that hug goodbye. Yeah. So right. I mean, he's definitely grown as a character in general, but he's killed it this year. Like I've enjoyed every single moment he's given us on the screen, whether I was cheering for him or against him, and I think that's the entire iconic thing that he's grown into right now.
T-Bone.
So the thing about Roman is I like the package more than I like the individual performer. And this is one of those things where the pandemic year probably messed everything. 2020, I should say. That probably made me think less of how he is, even though I've seen him in different situations. But like when he was doing like the monologues, like he was in a Shakespeare theater play when he was in his actual matches, like that kind of made me, it soured me on him specifically. The package of everything else that's around him, that's fine. I'd actually probably go a different way. If I were going to go with a wrestler, I'd probably say for 2021, the better athlete would be Bryan Danielson.
Oh, Sharita's face. I love it.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
I mean, you missed the initial reaction.
Yeah, you did.
Can you replay that? Replay the reaction?
You have
Check
to watch it. I
on
can't
YouTube,
force it.
on Twitter, on Roku.
channel. Give us all the plugs right now. I can't force
it.
it.
Stink face.
Here's the thing. Now, if you're talking about what's presented on TV as far as like actual storylines and stuff, sure, Roman would be the person because he's the champion and all that.
I'm not even debating you not agreeing with Roman. I'm just my face was to your response.
Well, here's why I would say Bryan Danielson. Because and again, in case you can't tell, I'm not a huge fan of AEW's style and presentation. It's just not for me. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's not for me. But if you look at where he started the year, right? He started the year getting into the championship match. He went to WrestleMania. He was in the WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns and Edge, probably because it wasn't as much of an attraction without him being in it. And then afterwards, he wound up doing the match, the retirement, it was Loser Leaves Town retirement, whatever it is, has to go match with Roman Reigns. And, he went ahead and lost the match and then showed up in AEW. And again, that was a point of excitement. That was an excitement period for AEW because Punk had just debuted the week before, a couple weeks before. So, he shows up at the pay-per-view. And I'm trying not to hold the let's call it booking on the actual performer in person, but his matches are different. He can have long matches, he can have short matches, he can have meaningful matches, and that's a variety that you don't necessarily see from Roman Reigns. It's pretty much the same notes with his stuff, match in and match out. So I'm more interested with the story with Roman Reigns than his actual matches. And again, I'm not interested in AEW stories. So the only thing that I can be interested in with them is a particular match here or there. So that's the answer.
He's one hell of a technical wrestler. Like I will never take that away from him. He's actually one of my favorite. Like if I could do a top 5, I don't know who the other 4 would be right now, but he'd be in my top 5. But I just get worried about him personally. So I'm not gonna take away any of the value that you have given to Daniel that he's earned. He's definitely one hell of a wrestler. It's just for me, the package of him as a person and the fragility of his neck. I'll be honest with you, like I'm not that excited about Edge being back in the ring because I don't want to be the person watching the match that's his last match. Like it's just that's the part that makes me a little concerned. But I mean, it's I can't replay the face for you, so I mean I can't do that. I'm sorry. That's just me.
In Brian's case, though, his issue wasn't necessarily the injury itself. He's even went back and said the reason why they had him off TV was, and again, taken from what he's saying, it wasn't because of the injuries himself and the concussions itself. It was because he lied about it. So, it was a trust issue more than anything. The doctors, every doctor would clear him. The only reason they wouldn't clear him is because they weren't confident that he'd tell the truth of when he actually got hurt and stuff. And again, in the company he's in, I don't necessarily have confidence in them being factual with everything either. But I'm not really worried about him as a performer as far as being fragile because they wouldn't clear him to do stuff if he, same thing with Edge. And we're talking about 2 different companies. They wouldn't clear either one of them. And you can throw Christian into that too. They wouldn't let them wrestle if there was something significantly wrong that put them at a significant risk. And even the time that I was an extra, like they checked the extras out before we could do anything. So, I've seen the process. It's a slight process.
Let's see, Stan.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Well, that was mine too.
Well, yeah. Because he finally got it done this year. And he did it at at his own pace.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, he didn't try to go out to get these caliber players. He did it with the squad that's been there, plus a few additional pieces that had joined that year. So it wasn't like he went out trying to recruit the top guys. He went out and recruited the necessary guys, or the necessary guys were brought in. So yeah,
that was up.
Yeah, and like you said, just to add on, since he was mine, right? He did it, as people say, the right way. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to go to a different team and, just feast off of somebody else's success just to go ahead and get
LeBron.
The whole organization did their thing.
Durant.
Right.
LeBron.
How?
Come on. Come on. To my team.
We didn't have this.
Let's win by every championship.
Well, no, like I said, he has a similar mentality like Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to work out with you if you're not his teammate. Stuff like that. He has his own path. I just love the way that he goes about his business. And when he first came back last week after he had COVID, I think it was a Christmas Day game against the Celtics, and you just tell how much of a difference he makes for that team. A whole different attitude, a whole different everything, energy.
It's
because
a
of
change
him.
pace that the league needs.
Yeah.
They need some competitiveness. They need somebody that has, is like, hey, let's everybody come together and let's just beat everybody. No, let's get my guys in here and let's just win what we have and win championship.
So I hope everyone has been enjoying this super show. It definitely has been a super show. Now to get to our last one. And Miss Williams sent me a message earlier. She had a comment on this one here. But who is the guest that you would love for the Platform Sports Talk Show to book? Joe, I have a feeling who you may say, but let's see if I'm wrong.
No, you're probably right. I have two of them, Michelle Smallman and Danny Mack. We've had just about everyone from 101 on the show, and we've been blessed to have all those people on here. But like Michelle Smallman would be awesome, and then Danny Mack. Like we've said on the show multiple times before. Everyone had Jack Buck back in the day. Danny Mack is my Jack Buck when it comes to to the voice of the Cardinals. So it would be awesome to have him on the show.
I definitely agree, and that was actually my answer. And when I thought about Michelle and Danny Mack, I thought about you, Joe, because how much it would mean, for you. So I definitely agree. I would definitely say Danny Mack for myself. So, Sharita.
I would say I have two recommendations. I would like, from a St. Louis perspective, of course, Randy. Fred, I'm really gonna try to come through with Xavier Woods. That's gonna be my goal for 2022. I will see what I can do.
Okay, let's go.
Xavier Woods.
Let's go. Oh, can't hear you.
Oh, I was done.
Oh, okay. All right, T-Bone.
Let's see. Well, the one that I could think of, and I said his name last week, would be Brian Stoll. So, for people probably my age, Sadal, I don't know if you listened to him or not back then.
Yeah.
With the Stranglehold radio show.
Yeah, the wrestling show on the radio. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that would be one because hopefully in 2022 I'll have some wrestling interviews coming up from some different things. So I'm hoping to piggyback off of you if you can get him, so I can get some of his time too, because he's one of the people who, like I said, when I went to my first wrestling shows, winning tickets off the Stranglehold. I actually won tickets off there a couple times, but I used to listen to his show. I think it was every Tuesday night. So like the day after a Raw and Nitro would be on, I would listen to his show and sit there for, I think it was like 2 hours.
To that show way back in the day, man.
See, there you go.
That's why I know him.
And T-Bone, I'll say this now. When I do book Brian Stoll, I'll make sure that you're on the show with me so we can interview him together.
Yeah, please do.
Got you. Let's see. Stan.
Got a few. Stacey King, the color commentator for the Chicago Bulls. Great time. Always listening.
Great personality.
Games, definitely. And then Tyler Cook, because he's a hometown person and he plays for the Chicago Bulls. It's like, come on, man.
Got you. And I know, Sadal, you told me pre-show that you gonna test me, test my gangster.
We're gonna raise the bar. We're gonna manifest some things tonight.
Let's go.
Okay. Now, you've had various award-winning athletes on the show, had various champions on the show. You've had various notable broadcasters, but have you ever had an Olympic gold medalist on the show? Jackie Jonah Kersey.
Got you.
That's one. And we talk about St. Louis's own. You've had active coaches and active athletes, but have you ever had an active NBA player? How about Jason Tatum himself, the man himself, coming on the show?
Okay,
those are the two. Let's get it.
I got some things to work on.
Man.
Let's go. I feel you. You're gonna see what's happening for 2022. Yeah, I think I already said my Danny Mac, so definitely see about that. And Miss Williams said I should see about Rennie Knott from Channel 5 Sports Director.
Yeah.
Said that he has some good stories to tell, so definitely see about that. So last but not least, everyone, any special shout out that you want to go ahead and give to the people before we go ahead and close out 2021? Joe, you up?
My special shout out actually goes to you, Frederick. I know you don't like what I call
Who was that?
No, I just mean I feel like 2021 was a good year for you. You know, you and Jamie get married and whatnot, but you know, outside of just your personal life, outside of your personal life, like this year has been amazing with all the special guests you've had on. You know, from Claiborne and Randy Carricker, Stalter, like we can go on forever, and it's been awesome being on the show. So thank you for having me, and I can't wait for what 2022 brings.
I appreciate that, and I feel the same way. Sharita.
I'm gonna second that motion and shout you out. Also, Bunny for talking me into putting my money where my mouth is and doing this on a public forum. And you know what? Last but not least, to Annie, we found a special sisterhood outside of the show. I gotta share this with y'all because she's not on the show, but we had y'all play that Rocky Fresh Christmas list. The last show. Annie and I exchanged Christmas gifts, and she sent me the Nas Illmatic vinyl album.
What?
And I sent her the John Cena action figure with the spinning championship belt that goes with it, along with a box of fudge brownies. So we now have a theme song that goes with our friendship.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. That song was in my head for at least 48 hours after.
As it should have been.
Miss Williams said, shout out to the ladies of Ladies Night for putting on a quality show, and to Fred for initiating it. Thank you very much once again, Miss Williams, and definitely shout out to you as well. Let's see, T-Bone.
Well, I don't want to stop the trend of shouting out the founder.
Choo-choo!
I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily remember if I watched the first couple episodes, but as soon as Sadal told me about this show and he was like, yeah, I'm doing it with this guy Smoooth, and I was like, all right, well, let me check it out. And here I am 4 years later, still in and out. So, I've seen how it went from the couple of stools to the getaway to where you are now, all the graphics and everything. And, like I said, we've had talks offline where you've told me about different things, helped me out with like audio equipment. And, you got some things that I'm trying to strive for next year as far as some video stuff. So, this special shout out to you, man.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate that love. Stan.
I'm gonna break the tradition and I'm gonna come right back to it. I just want to shout out all my fellow Chicago Bulls fans. We done been through some stuff in 2021. It was the year where all of the loyalty, despite the quality of the product, has paid off, and I am excited to see where this season goes. Shout out to you, Smoooth, for it'll be 5 years next year of providing nonstop entertainment, even in the midst of this pandemic.
Man.
Sticking to it, having guests for, dear God, I don't know, like just forever and forever to come, and for seeing the vision and sticking with the vision through the process.
Appreciate that, man.
Trust the process.
Definitely means a lot.
It works better than it does in Philly.
Sure does. You can ask Ben Simmons.
Yo.
So, dog, you up?
Well, why even break the tradition now, man? You gotta shout you out, Smooth. Cause I remember, after a show one day at Legacy,
Man, I was about to bring that up.
and he was like, "Hey, Sadal, got an idea." Like, what's up, man? Thinking about doing a sports show. You want to do it? You want to do a sports show? I was like, okay. When people say, and usually I'm gonna be honest, when people say they got ideas to do stuff, I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna support you. Whatever. And then he's like, all right, so next week we come back here, the Legacy. We're gonna do a little promo.
That's
Like,
do I talk like that for real?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I was like, all right, okay. And so
Don't be laughing,
still-
Sharita.
Still, I'm like, okay. And then we got on our phones, we're doing the live, and did the video. I'm thinking, okay, that's it. We're probably gonna do maybe 1 or 2 shows, and I'll support him because he's the homie.
4 years later.
4 years later, we're still doing this show.
Yes, sir.
This is incredible, man. And I didn't see this being to the point when we were sitting on those 2 stools and I'm looking like I'm like dazed and confused into the camera, like, how y'all doing?
Man, he came a long way, y'all. Lord.
We went from a little black background to some stools to you bringing on Randy Carey.
Right.
And bringing on notable sports icons and legends from St. Louis, and bringing on Olympic gold medalists, NBA champions, Super Bowl champions to the show. I'm speaking into existence, y'all. It's going to happen. To Hall of Famers, bringing on Isaac Bruce.
Big game, Torrey Holt. Well, I'm trying to get him.
Big game, Torrey Holt.
I'm working on that one.
Bringing on these different folks and going into the future, man. It's something to see. It speaks to perseverance and going out there doing something consistently, and this is what it gets you. It gets you this success. So hey, shout out to you, bro.
Man, I appreciate that. And I'll just go ahead and keep it with you real quick. Like you said, that night of Legacy. It was something about you, and I was like, you know what? He likes sports like I do. He this and that, whatever. I'm like, how would you feel about doing, a sports talk show? So for you to join me and set the groundwork with
that
me.
was big because I'm camera shy.
Right.
I don't like to be
The
on
show
camera.
was like, man, I don't know about cameras, man. I don't be the mic is, when the lights are bright, But look at you now. You know what I'm saying? To you now, known DJ and investor. You
comic relief for the show.
Exactly. Nothing but the hot drops from from Sadal. But
hot too.
But everything that you've done to move from what every week doing a sports talk show to doing your investing, but still be able to come back. That's the biggest thing for me, is that you're still able to support, even though you may not be on every week, you are still the platform sports talk show with me. You know what I'm saying? Stan, to you, thank you. so much for everything you've done. I know we met in the spoken word circuit.
Yeah.
And then to find out how you and Sadal already had a relationship, and you started watching the show pretty much because of what y'all had already going. And then you came to the show, and back when you had a little, you had the little bob going or box. I can't recall what it was, but you had the hair.
It was something.
And you
then went bald.
right. He went bald, y'all, like me for a minute.
All the way.
I'm gonna have to go back to some of
waves
these
were
old
gone.
videos.
Yeah.
That's commitment, y'all.
Yeah. But and for
man.
you,
That was a time.
yes, you have other things going on, being a talented spoken word artist, singer, just being an artist, period.
Yeah.
And for you to still years down the line still be available, still be on the show now, 'cause you could have easily been like, hey, Fred or Smooth, and I got this going on, man. I mean, no, you still stuck with it. You believed in me. So I appreciate that. Joe, from the moment that you sat next to me at our job, the job that Stan didn't believe we had at first.
Yeah.
He like,
Got no job,
like,
man.
he like, where you work at for real? But yeah, Joe came over and she sat next to me, and I trained her for the position that she's doing now. And now her husband is at the job too.
Yep.
But we had a talk one time. I don't know how it happened. I guess just because of us training, and we talked about sports all of a sudden. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't you be a partner? Why don't you be a guest on the sports talk show? So she came over to the getaway, her and B. Then we went out to the Boondocks, had a great show out there.
Remember that show.
But she's just been a great asset to the team. She's been growing every show. The confidence is there, and I love seeing her excitement in regards to who we have on the show and hold things down. So, like I said before, she's no longer just our insider in regards to baseball and hockey. She is officially, I'm saying, part of the platform Sports Talk Show. Ain't no featuring, ain't no it's official. So, Joe, thank you very much for everything that you brought to the Sports Talk Show. Sharita, like you said before, Bunny, she was like, hey, it's someone I know that I think would be great for the show. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe just to interview with her for the one ladies night edition. But then the moment that you start speaking, and I just knew, I could tell there was something about you in regards to your delivery, your knowledge. I'm like, I have to have her on more than just this show here. And so for y'all to hold things down for the past few months that you've been on, and holding things down for ladies night, taking that initiative, you was like you brought up with the SummerSlam recap show. That was your baby. I'm like, hey, whatever you need, let me know. I got y'all. You and B, y'all held that down. You and Brian Turner did an incredible job. Just seeing you on your element. You was like, hey, I got a background in journalism and da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay. You ain't got to tell me twice. Just let me know what you need. But you came through. I love your point of views. It's good to see. Well, continue prayer once again to your family with everything that you're going through. But you just been a blessing for the show. So thank you very much for your contributions. T-Bone, you already know. Like you said before, you tuned in after Sadal said that this guy Smooth, and you've been you've been our faithful follower as well, a supporter. You be sure. I look at it, I see it, nothing goes past me, man. So I appreciate you. I remember the day I had to go to court, and you and Stan
on assignment.
You, hey, it was a while back now, so I can say it. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying, you held things down. I believe was it you and y'all
like we better do the press.
Right.
Like, does it work?
Like,
yeah, is it working?
Was it any part of the show too, or it was just y'all three?
Not at that point.
Okay, not that one. Okay. But yeah, T-Bone, thank you very much, man, for everything you've done. I'm glad. Yeah, I think she was there.
I mean, I've been on with her before, but I don't remember she was there
doing that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was in person too.
Yeah.
So but yeah, T-Bone, thank you for once again for everything that you've done. Congrats on your promotion in regards to HBCW and your career coming up with DJing and everything that you're doing, man. Keep it moving. Congrats to you and your wife having a kid. How old is your kid now?
He's 2.5, basically.
Oh my God, already?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Time
time go
flies.
by fast. That's amazing. But thank you very much. Annie, she's been
When I told you about
day
that,
one.
yeah, we be at Buffalo Wild Wings watching the game.
Yeah.
And somebody try to debate her, boy, it'd be a problem.
Right.
And I just sit back and be like, ooh. And I'm like, I knew she would be perfect for the show.
Yeah. And because I recall trying to book her, and she was, still in the midst of planning for the St. Louis Slam. So, but once that opened up, she came through and she made it happen. And we all know that she brings a whole dynamic to the sports talk show. So, Annie, thank you very much. Sorry you couldn't have you on tonight, but hopefully next week for ladies' night it should be official. And of course, Bunny. Oh my God, amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I've known Bunny since our high school years, and I've always told her we should have a sports talk show together. And this is way before social media, so we're talking about like a radio, show. Go to a station and do something. Social media came around, and after that week after B Baker, shouts out to him as well. But after he left, the very next day, I believe, Bunny reached out to me like, "Hey, I'm not doing nothing. I'm free. I love to be on the show." I'm like, "You ain't gotta say no more."
Perfect timing.
Come on with it. And as you know, she's the host of Ladies Night. She's been holding that down, having Sanaa now. So shouts out to the little one. So she hopefully will be back by January or February. But Bunny, thank you very much for everything that you have done. You elevated this show more and more. To all the guests who have been on the show, it ain't easy. Being a producer, trying to book guests, and you got to be persistent. You can't just be like, oh, well, he don't respond back or she don't respond back, so I'm just going to give up. No, I learned to be persistent and things happen. I tried to book Larry Hughes for like 2 years. I stayed on him. I even got at other people, what I'm saying? Like, hey, can you let him know about? Got him. And then he was appreciative that he was able to be on the show. So to all the guests that's been on the show, thank you very much for just making this show that much more respectable. And to my wife, like you said, Joe, game changer, life changer. To my wife, Jamie, I love you. Thank you for your support from day one. I appreciate it. And let me go ahead and show her some love real quick. Where it go? I had it somewhere. Where it go? I got it. Oh, here we go. So starting on January the 3rd, y'all, ladies, y'all need some waist trainers. She has it. Jamming with Beyonce. Waist trainers. Starting on January 3rd, you can go to her website, jammingwithjayance.com, and you can order it. She'll make it happen. It's $25. $25. So you can put it around your waist. She got a whole video. Just follow her page, Jamie Lynn on Facebook, or Jamming with Beyonce on Instagram, and see her tutorial of the waist trainer to the 2022. Ladies, thank me later. I'm just saying. You see on the website, jammingwithjayance.com. I'm supporting her like she supports me. Baby girl, I love you if you watch it right now. And once again, just to everyone who has supported the platform sports talk show, thank y'all very much. Appreciate y'all. It's been fun here.
That boy was about to say $2,000. I was like, oh, the price
No,
just went up.
right now, 25, but we'll see about later. But T-Bone, Sharita, Joe, Stan, Sadal, thank y'all very much. We hear from TSC, the Saunders experience, no longer the getaway. But it's been fun, everyone. Any last words before we go?
You got to end it.
Shouts out to Miss Williams for following HBCW on Instagram just now.
Hey, there we go. We show love. You said the Bulls won.
My Bulls won today.
There we go. Sharita, any last
That's
words?
5 in a row.
I got nothing. Thank you, and I'll see y'all next year.
Yes, ma'am. Look forward to ladies' night, Joe.
Everyone just have a good new year. Hopefully everyone stays safe out there.
There we go. Fellas, you can go ahead and end it all.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do it.
All right. It's the Platform Sports Talk Show. Yo, Wednesday night Sports Delight. When it's about sports.
It becomes our business.
And business just picked up.
We out. We out. Right.
Power up on them.
We out. We out. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.